Sure.
Okay.
Well, apparently for our
we
arc.
are live.
Oh yeah.
We're live. Okay. Fantastic.
Shape up. Use
Yeah.
better language.
You lot
More
have had
correctly.
better. You lot have had all the warning in the world while I've been getting this sorted out.
The thing is, we've gotten too much warning, so now we're getting comfortable.
We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, welcome to Mutant Year Zero. We're playing Mutants today. It's been like 2 months since last time, I think. So we might be a little rusty along the edges, but we'll figure it out. With me today, I have my mutants, Druttercup, Shard Angel, and Night Bites. I remember your names, and I know what's going on. My name is Felix, and I'm the captain of this goddamn hell ship. Right?
It's gonna be one of them days.
No, what's going to be one of them days is that Shard just had chat in the face.
I'm fine with that. I mean, if it's probably because Mr. Moon is sitting there writing on the screen with his hands.
Oh, the chat is just Mr. Moon writing?
Yeah.
My God,
Mind blown, right?
It's Gabriel von Ritter, my character from Warhammer, who actually did that mid-fight.
I bet it's fine. It's fine.
It's now over where the pictures will appear.
Yeah. Right, so, a couple of things to get out of the way first, because these are things that I might have forgotten that we're generally supposed to do at the end of each lesson, but we're going to start with them instead. So, so before we actually dig into playing the game, we're going to not be playing the game for a little bit. So, we're going to start with handing out experience for you.
Ooh.
Excellent.
We get experience for not dying?
You do get experience for not dying. You might get experience for dying as well, but that's not as fun.
Wait, you get experience for dying? How does that work?
I mean, let me explain. Right. So, when it comes to experience, after every session, you kind of go out of the game and discuss what has happened during the previous session, and if you have fulfilled any of the experience-giving points. For example, do you believe that you have been part of the session, of like the session? I would say that all 3 of you were, so you will each get 1 experience point. Did you help? Sorry, once again, disclaimer: I am translating directly from Swedish to English, so it will be at points there might be some me dropping words because translating.
Don't worry about it, Felix.
Yeah.
This is how we learn new languages.
Mm-hmm.
So you learn new languages. This is how I get really confused.
Right. Were you part of building something for the Ark, which I believe all of you helped with, so you need to get a point for that as well. Did you explore at least 1 sector in the zone, which you all did? So
we explored 2 sectors, I believe.
That is at least 1.
You didn't explore F20 because you didn't cross the river, and there very little of it is like on this side of the river.
We explored H18 and I-19.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait.
Oh, those were previously, because, okay, yeah, never mind. It was
H18 and Hotel 18 and Indigo 19 are both explored, but those were explored during the short play. You
that's why I wrote it up there that way.
Golf 19 during the last session.
Yeah.
And you walked through
a corner of 20 into 21.
When you say walked, we ran through a lot of it.
I mean, tomato. Now I remember we were going after boats. That's right.
Yeah. But yes, you get 1 more. You get 1 for that as well. Did you sacrifice or risk something for your for any role-playing person you feel close to? I don't think you did.
It's asking a lot.
I don't know. How did that situation with the train work out? We worked well together, but we didn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah, we didn't really risk too much either.
The only risk was taken by Swan and whatever Fish's character was then, because they went off solo to scout and take position.
No, Fish wasn't in it.
That was the short play, and I don't think we're counting that at the moment, actually.
Okay, cool.
Because maybe I should give you XP for the short play, but I'm not going to.
That's fair.
Yes.
I feel so loved.
So, yeah, you're welcome. Welcome to Mutant Year Zero. The world hates you. Anyway, so no points for that one. Have you sacrificed or risked anything for the NPC you want to protect? If you remember, you all should or are free to add an NPC that you would like to protect. Only one that you would like to protect as most. I believe Swan has herself put down, which
Yes.
fair enough. I'll allow you to keep that one because it's funny, and I'll do anything for a joke.
Yep.
But
I've seen your photos.
yeah. God damn it! I feel called out.
I do have
Yes.
someone I need to protect, but they're back in the arc.
I was just
So no
thinking
points for that one as
cosplay.
well.
What have you got in mind?
Don't worry about it. Did you take a risk or sacrifice anything to, pardon the language, fuck with the NPC you hate? Which I don't think
No.
any of you did either.
I don't think so.
we did yet,
No.
And now that we know that we get XP for it, I think you can expect a lot of fuckery to come along.
You're
Yeah.
thinking that.
Have you sacrificed or risked anything to reach your dream? I don't think. Actually, I might be inclined to give Mr. Moon a point of experience because he's going out into the zone, as far as I understood it, to find a way to give the Ark children.
Yeah.
And that's your dream.
Mhm.
So I'll allow you one experience this time because for you this is kind of a bigger step. I mean,
Mhm.
when you walk out in the zone next time, it won't be as much of a risk because you kind of know you can handle it.
Right.
So I give you one experience point once. This time.
I didn't realise the I hate was a person.
Fair enough. You're free to change that if you like.
What's the name of the woman who runs the bar?
Ilona.
Right.
Fair enough.
See, you know what? I think I should change my hate to similar hates because she is a dick.
Go ahead. Yes, it also says that when experience has been handed out, you are allowed to change your relations or your big dream.
Okay.
So, feel free to go hog wild on that one. Right. Okay. With that out of the way, let's do a quick recap of what actually happened last time, which I realized probably should have started with. But here we are. Right. So last time you headed out into the zone for various reasons. As I understood it, mainly related to general exploring. Miss Moon obviously wants to kind of fulfill his dreams. Would any of you actually like to share where your mutants are at in terms of what they're doing? Looking mainly at Knight and the Drat.
One of them can do it because I'm barely coherent at the moment.
In terms, we're right in terms of what precisely?
In terms of like, why are you here right now? Kind of.
We want to try and find a way across the river.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we want the boats to help us get around the coast to travel farther into other zones to find things.
Yes.
To increase our culture, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or
So
our technology.
yeah. So basically, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to establish the Ark, your civilization, your society in like a more way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Fair enough. Right. So last time you decided to head east into the zone, kind of following one of the smaller rivers leading out of the big rivers, as you've seen on your zone map, and also, yeah, the map we have up on currently have up on the stream as well.
Yep.
So you kind of headed east. You ran into like an old hangar and some shiny, attractive giant
This is why
crows.
we're in so much trouble. There was shiny stuff where we were. This
Yeah.
is why crows run by Felix started attacking us because we were near the shinies.
Hey,
I like the shinies. I don't know.
It might be possible to train a murder of crows by giving them shinies, and then we'd have an extra NPC that is a swarm that follows us around because we give them shinies.
A murder
But as
with
it stands at the moment, we're about to be murdered by crows.
Oh no, we
murder with
escaped
murder
that.
crows. Yeah, we
Because
ran
we-
away from them.
Basically, what you did was you managed to hijack into this tram.
God, we
that
turned the
was
lights on.
standing. Turn the light on, and also making it move slightly forward,
Yes.
and crashing into the hangar door. And so, thus, the threat was concluded, defeated.
Well, you say defeated, we say distracted.
Yeah.
And while distracted,
Neutralised.
we legged it in the other direction.
Oh, it will be back. It always comes back. So,
Fantastic.
anyway, you had continued at east. At this point, you've been kind of walking for 6 hours, I believe.
Mhm.
Since it takes 4 hours for you to explore one zone, you kind of just one of the zones you walk through only has a little bit of it peeking through the river, so you didn't quite explore that one, but you walked through it without too much of a hassle. And so, yes, Martin the Martin, I see that I have been replaced, and that's alright.
No, you're fine. Martin the corrupted Martin. I'm quite happy with that.
Martin the corrupted Martin. Martin,
Oh.
Skipper Martin the corrupted Martin.
Yes.
This is a good idea. That's what you should cosplay as on stream. You should cosplay as Martin.
Yes!
Get like a little skipper uniform.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes! But
Hell
would it be
yeah.
a cat style, just face paint makeup, or would you actually go the full furry head?
Well,
I think it
I've
has to be
already-
the cat's route.
Not
I
to call
think.
myself out of main, I've already made a furry head once. I think I'm good. I actually made ducks from Mutant Year Zero, the game. Anyway, Right.
GM while cosplaying as ducks.
yeah, no,
Yes.
because it's very hard to speak through because the bill doesn't move. Anyway, I might wear the coat at some point. We'll see. My things aside, right, where were we? Right, you're in the zone, and also a thing I forgot last session, which we're going to do now, is death number, because every day, even if you're in the arc or not, the death number of the arc goes down. So Drat, you generally tend to roll very high numbers.
Oh, wacko. Right,
Why
what am I
don't you go
rolling?
ahead and roll me a d6, please?
Just the one.
So this is how many people in the arc have died?
Yes. While you are.
Oh man.
What happens if it gets to a point where we're all that's left of the arc?
Then we need to find a new arc.
Becomes very sad.
Do we win?
Yes!
It's a battle royale and we're the last survivors.
I
If you-
rolled a 1.
Aww! Damn it! I thought my plan would work.
Was it Alona that died?
Please.
No.
No, she needs to die by my hand.
Elona dies last. No matter what you do, I'm gonna keep her for last.
Fair enough.
Right, I'm actually just gonna check if this gets modified in a way, and I need to find the right book for that. And I don't remember that off the top of my head. Because I have 2 books, which is a lot of books.
1d100 people. No, wait, hang on. Oh, fish, yes, RuneQuest. Yes, needs to play Dark in RuneQuest.
Right, okay, yep. It should just be 1 person. Oh, that's sad. Fine.
It's like you don't want us to succeed. I don't understand.
I just want life to be hard for you. I don't know what the issue is.
Well, we don't want life to be hard for us. That's the issue.
How too bad. It's like they say, I think rule number 1 in Mutant Year Zero is that everything rots. So, just keep that in mind.
Everything was... Yeah, okay.
Yes, just making sure.
You know, now that we're into F21 and going into 22, we might start finding something that we were looking for.
We
Or
might.
we
I'm
might
not holding my
find-
breath.
Or we might find something that's looking for us.
I mean,
more
that's
likely.
possible.
Right.
Okay.
Your population on the Ark was currently 231. You are now
Uh-huh.
down to 230.
This is because we like round numbers.
Yeah, I mean that's good at least. Hopefully next time you will roll a 6 or a 5. A 5 is even better. That's
No.
even number.
You wanted me to roll the dice, mate. You think I roll high? I don't. I roll
Yeah.
what I need.
See, I wasn't going to say that until after Drud had rolled the dice.
Yeah, I know. Neither was I.
I saw the mischievous look there.
I've noticed this behavior before.
Right. Okay. So you're out walking in the zone. The sky is grey. Among you, underneath your feet is nothing but rubble and concrete. And you enter F21. I don't believe we rolled lead the way for this one, so please
Didn't.
front as the zone starker of the screen.
Okay. So I am lead the way. I'm rolling 2, and it's an agility. No, is it a wits?
It's a wit.
It's a wits.
Yep. So it's your wit plus your either way.
Yeah, and the skill dice are rolled separately to the stat dice. Yes.
Yes, to make it, in case you would like to push their roll, in which case they have different effects.
Yarp. Okay, so I got a 6.
You roll
I only got 1 6.
you roll 1 6. That's 1 success. That's all you need. So you manage to find a good path through this this ruin, this sector of the zone. It takes you about 4 hours to traverse this sector. The first part of it leading up into this river, which is significantly thinner than the river where your ark is situated, is mainly like concrete. There is big piles of like concrete and rubble scattered about, and you also see these giant, I won't say giant, they're like 2 meters long, twisted metal with like black and things in them. Several of them have giant holes and
Which
just piece of
sector did you
twisted
say
metal.
we're in?
F22.
F21.
Yeah,
F21,
F21.
so right on the edge of the map. Okay.
Just to the south of the river. Well, we're going along the river in this
Yeah.
case.
Yes, exactly.
I'll swap back
Yeah.
to the other map in a minute. It's just
You
that this
say
one-
that the river is significantly thinner than the one that our boat's on, but it's still way too far for us to swim. Given the size of the map.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be too far for you to swim, but none of you can swim.
Hey, I've got 4 arms. I might be able to do it.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Well,
I think the arms make you more easy to prone to sting, actually. Maybe.
Would we really want to go swimming in water that's potentially rotten?
That is also a point.
Also, we don't have water wings for Mr. Moon's little arms.
not yet.
We need the armbands. The
Look,
orange ones from swimming
when
class.
I get my next mutation, I'm going to mutate in such a way that's going to give my arm hands fins.
I'm just thinking little duckies on
just
the
webbed
water wings.
fingers.
And then I just sit in the water and pull myself along with my face.
Can I just check? After my migraine, I did wake up, didn't I? This isn't
not sure.
something that's just happening while I'm asleep.
Who knows?
God, I love this game so much.
Do we have a facepalm counter now?
Yes, yes,
it
we
was
do.
It was mentioned last week.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
mentioned last week and this
Cthulhu.
week I added it. We have a facepalm counter. You are the first
Fantastic.
facepalm on the counter.
Oh, amazing. There's gonna be plenty more.
I was also the first full screen facepalm too.
Yeah. Across the board facepalm.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we should add an extra 5 to the tactical facepalm.
Potentially, yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's plenty of concrete, and like the concrete, along with the rubble, like almost goes all the way up to the bank of the river. I say bank, it's not like a shore or anything. It's just a drop, and then there's water there.
And you said there's holes in the metal, as if it was like shot and whatnot.
No, well, yes and no. Some of the holes are bigger, like potentially caused by fire.
Okay.
And there's a lot of these wrecks scattered in this sector. Would you like to?
Investigate them?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to? Oh, all right.
Of course we do.
We
Yes.
definitely want to investigate this. I mean, do
I
you think
should-
that is a metal wreck, right?
These
Yeah.
are metal wrecks. Yes. Twisted
And
like.
Walls made by fire.
Yes, they're in different states of the case. Some of them appear to be more crushed. All of them seem to be at least somewhat charred. They're scattered like over a large area, like several hundred meters, and there's plenty of them. You also notice that they appear to be like kind of neatly after one another, not stacked, but like in neat rows. Yeah, if you'd like to investigate, you are very welcome to do so. How would you like to investigate it?
Hang on, I just need to call Swan up from the depths of my subconscious. That's better.
I should also mention,
Page and Swan.
actually. I should also mention. No, carry on. I'll mention it later.
I would just like
Whoever's going
say...
to do the role for investigating, I'm going to inspire them by explaining how to how to avoid the sharp, jagged bits of metal when looking through holes, not to cut up your equipment and your stylish outfits.
So would Scout be the one here? Scout and Wits?
Depending on how you investigate, you might not need to roll for it.
Right, okay. You see, I don't think these guys can be left on their own, you see, to explore, because they'll just find dangerous things. Goose is fine. But I am going to approach the nearest wreckage with a hole big enough for a person to come through.
All of them have holes big enough for a person to come through.
Okay, a person to climb through easily without having to worm their way in.
Yes, yeah, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it in a reasonably stealthy manner, just in case something had gone inside through these holes that people could get through. So I didn't want to disturb them.
Yes. Would you like to?
There she
Would you
is.
like one that's more or less destroyed?
Less destroyed.
Less destroyed. Excellent. Right. So you find one of these metal wrecks. Just one of them has like half of the side is off completely, and you can easily kind of just step inside it. You'll have to like hunker down a bit. You not as much since you are smaller.
Short sauce is the term
yeah.
I'm looking for.
But you manage to go inside. There's no really good place to stand. You can kind of if you sit like properly hunched, you can kind of sit inside it. You can inspect it further. There seems to be a lot of metal. You also find like melted, what you know is melted plastic.
Yeah.
There's no big like fire smell, so you don't think this is recent. And you also found like signs of like greenery that has started to grow in certain parts inside it as well.
Yes.
That has managed to crawl up through the concrete. And you also find I don't know a good way to describe it.
Could be.
Looking through the inside of this, you also find like around the so in front of you there is like a flat part of metal, or like a slightly rounded part of metal with a larger hole in it. There's also a big hole right in front of that as well. And you can find like in the shard marks of the plastic and the metal, you find like scratches.
Okay.
As if something has used like some form of metal tool to potentially open it, or not necessarily open it, but mess with it.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to see if it can still be opened.
Sure. you have a knife, right?
I believe I have a knife, yes. Let me just check I have a knife.
We should have bought a crowbar.
I've
last
got
time.
a hammer. I've
You
got
have?
an emergency hammer.
You do have an emergency hammer. Would you like to start smashing it?
I was thinking more of wedging the point of the emergency hammer into the opening.
Sure, it's not
We're not
super
going
much
to
of
make
a
it easy for you to draw bad guys towards us, okay?
I'm
but
inside,
you-
destroying bad guys towards you lot.
Yeah. Spawn is sneaky enough to sneak away in the night. You start to like kind of mess with it a little bit
Yeah.
and see if you can open it up. You realize that it might not be so much that something has been opened, more that perhaps something has been taken. And the metal scrapes has been caused from the removal of something.
Right. Huh. Oh, this place has been looted already, which is jolly rude. I think you'll
I
find.
want, in terms of what these look like on the outside, the shapes all around, all the wrecks. What skill is it? Is it
I believe
comprehend?
Comprehend, yes, correct.
Yeah, I want to do a comprehend to know what these are because
Go
me, I think I do, but I could be off.
Go ahead. If I'll say it like this: if you are allowed to just draw a conclusion as well, or you can roll a comprehend to actually get to know the answer. It's up to you.
I mean, my initial conclusion is this is a tank graveyard, but I want to roll to make sure.
Fair.
That's one success.
One success. These are not large enough to be tags, and given like some of the metal seems too thin, like you don't think this would fare very well like in a firefight. These doesn't appear to be protective things.
These are containers, like from a container ship or...
No, these are smaller than containers.
Oh,
If they're smaller than tanks, then
I don't know. I think of tanks as being
that we've
huge.
got in the hold of our ark, are we? Where we make our homes.
We know what they look like.
Like a lot more destroyed version of those. These are also missing all of their tires, which made it a bit hard to properly get
Oh,
what they
we're
are.
just in a junkyard.
We're in a
Um,
junkyard. So they're wrecked, they're burnt up, they're...
It's an
A
obligatory
lot of the
giant
holes used to be
electromagnet.
glass.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And the
Like
bits that...
with your comprehend, you know that these are cars. There seem to be like a not too much of a wide variety. Like in your arc, you obviously have like ambulances and person cars and like all the, like these seems to be mainly just the 4-seater ones. And
Sedan, yeah.
yeah, all of them are missing their tires. They have no tires. They're just standing on the ground. You do find like some traces of like burnt or melted rubber at certain points of them, like some of them, and none of them seem like crashed. So the thought of a junkyard.
Hang on a minute. They're not stacked, are they?
No, they're just in rows.
Is there, or are there, the traces of an actual building?
There is a lot of rubble, potentially.
Car factory?
No.
Car park?
No. We're on the coast.
This is a highway.
Yeah, could be.
No, it's not even a highway. It's a container yard where the cars are stored before going to the garages. They come off the ship, out of the containers, and
You
they're
are
up here before they're taken out to the garages on...
Hmm.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Export yards for the person who used to work at a dock.
I should mention that the river here isn't that broad. Like, your arc probably wouldn't fit in here.
Okay.
Yeah, our ark's a cruise ship, so there's a lot of places that
There's a
the
lot of places
ferries
it
would
wouldn't
not
fit.
would not fit.
Yeah,
And
some of the
as
smaller
you're-
coasters could.
Yeah.
As you're kind of
Potentially, yes.
like walking through this car park, with Swan's expertise, this seems kind of like a safe area. Like it's fairly flat and just concrete and rubble, so you can see fairly like far off.
Good lines of sight, but we can use the cars for cover. This actually isn't too bad for defensibility.
And you see, like, actually, can all of you just roll 1d6 for me?
Sure.
It's a single one, and tell me what it says.
3.
6.
2.
Right. Names. God, why am I? Who am I, and why have I lost me? Raymer. As you kind of walk a bit more, like towards the river, you throw a glance, obviously towards the river, because in the end you are looking for like boats and ways to cross it, and you see a bridge going across the water. It seems to be fairly intact. It seems to be made like of green metal. It's slightly arched, may like not very broad. It maybe for like two per people can walk like next to each other on it. It seems to be a bit ruined. Like there are some holes here and there, but it seems to be fairly intact actually.
Can I make use of one of my talents? Because I'm suspicious.
You and me both.
I would like to make use of my rot nose.
Right. What would you like to do with your Ruthnose?
I would like to. Can I use it with my tracking sense mutation?
Potentially I would allow that depending on what you
Basically,
like to do.
I would just like, before we go onto or anywhere near this bridge, I would like to try and sniff out whether there is excessive rot in, on, or around it.
Right. Give me a second, and I'll just look up your.
Because I just don't trust anything that's intact.
Fair enough.
No. A bridge is, well,
You know, just a couple of hours ago, we saved ourselves with something that was mostly intact.
I know, and I didn't trust that either. It had killer birds attached to it.
No, the killer birds followed us in.
Yes, but they knew it was
they were
there.
near.
We nested in it. That's what birds do. They nest in places.
Things that are intact draw things to them.
Yeah, and also
You know what?
things that are intact and solid gets robbed out for salvage material.
Or set up as attack points.
Right. When it comes to your talent, technically it's a thing you're supposed to use. You can use like a bonus effect with your lead the way to find like basically the most walk-free way through the zone. And that means that because all zone sectors have like a secret rot level that you don't know about, but that I know. And you can basically lower that
I
one.
just figured that if I can avoid rot, this logically means I need to be able to smell rot.
Yes, to a certain degree. I will allow you though, since you also have the tracker sense.
Yeah.
I will allow you to use your mutation if you would like to.
That requires me to use a mutation point, doesn't it?
Correct.
Okay, not a problem.
And this is our second use of mutation, I think, because I believe that Gamel used one in short play as well. But this is our first actual campaign use of our mutation.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I use mutation as well in the short play.
Yeah. Right.
I lost track. I was trying not to shoot people in the head.
This only costs you one mutation point to use. And that means you need to roll a single d6 to see if anything happens with your mutation.
Okay. 6.
6. I don't think anything happens on a 6. Let me check quickly. Yeah, no. That means you're fine. The mutation works as intended.
I had no idea where I was needing to roll. It just happened.
Right, so you take like a deep breath, and the apparent scar on your face flares slightly as you take in the rot here. You kind of taste there a bit, and you can tell, like I'll give you this since you spent a mutation point, right? You can tell that this sector has a bit of a rot in it, more so than like the place where your arc is, which is a rot oasis. Not to a like terrible harmful, like you're not in immediate danger.
Yeah.
If you were to spend a couple of days here, you'd probably be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And you also, with your sniffing, you kind of work close to the bridge as well. And the bridge doesn't seem to cause any spikes in your in
Okay.
the air. It seems fairly safe.
Yeah. Okay, I shall pack up my nose. Stick it back to...
Put the mask back over it and
Yeah.
stay socially distant and safe.
Duct
Yeah,
tape
I'm
it
not
down.
the only one with weird face things going on.
Yeah, but yours, hers are its arms.
Also, I have the good grace of turning away from you lot to do the whole exploding
Face just
Cthulhuid
segments
face.
completely.
I look like one of those guys off
It's just the
Farscape.
tongue
That's
that
because
sniffs the air.
that's
The
because
entire
really
face opens.
face opens up like a demogorgon.
Yes,
Yeah, and it's just tongue.
yes,
Oh, ugh.
it's fine.
Almost like a
nice.
Halo elite.
You know, calling it social grace, you're a zone stalker. Why would you bother with social graces?
Because you lot aren't zone stalkers, you see. This is the problem. Anyone normal, if Gemmel were here, I wouldn't mind him seeing my face opening like a flower. But you lot, so sensitive, so sheltered.
Swan, the beautiful
Well.
flower of the party.
Wouldn't
This is
want
the
to
second
scare
time we've been
him.
into the zone with you. Why are you this way?
Second time! Veterans! Ah!
You know, you can be a real charmer sometimes, Swan.
I know. Isn't it lovely?
I haven't seen those times yet, though.
Oh. Maybe we'll be able to pay more attention next time.
Right.
Right.
Duly noted.
Sorry, she's awful. I would like to make it very clear I know she's terrible. Right. So,
Right.
yeah. And we'll come back. The river and bridge itself seem reasonably unrotted. I mean, you wouldn't want to set up home here, but it's basically okay to travel through if we want to go over and have a look.
Well, we haven't seen anything on this side. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anything inside these vehicles, in the boots or otherwise.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them here, though. It could take a while to properly search them all.
yeah.
And we don't have time to search them all because we're looking for boats.
We could, well, for all we know, there may be boats in the boots. A boaty in the
As
booty.
long as they've been here I mean, there was some sort of fire here. If they're Rubbermaid type boats, they're probably melted to the bottom of the boot.
No, you see, I've got a real problem with the term Rubbermaid in this context because that just doesn't. To me, that doesn't speak of boats. Let's put it that way. I'm changing mental gears here. It might
Did
be
we
worth
see-
having a look.
I mean,
But it
we
would
can
take
continue
us a
looking,
day.
but maybe an hour's worth of looking at the most? We've only got so much time out here.
What do you reckon? What does Goose say?
Normally, Goose says woof. But,
Well, is Goose
I'll ask her if you
particularly on edge?
Goose seems fairly chill, given that, like, I think Goose is also kind of reacting how you are, because all of you seem fairly as relaxed as one can be out in the zone. So Goose is just kind of standing, whiffing the air a bit. The tail wags slightly.
I'm just thinking that if Goose
so
gets
there's
nervous,
nothing that's attracting Goose's attention.
yeah. Says the dog owner whose dog notices everything.
Yes.
Someone walking 4 streets away. Bark.
Exactly. Yes. You've heard Bella, then.
Yes. There are people in France who've heard Bella.
There are people in America who've heard Bella.
There's people in Sweden who've heard Bella and
Yeah,
jumped.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yes, we can afford to spend some time. What time of day is it? How dark? What's the light level? And how fast are we going to lose it?
It's very grey. It's hard to, because you rarely, if ever, have seen the sun. But you have been out walking for, I reckon, about 6 hours at this point.
Yeah.
At this point,
Remember-
even more actually, because it was 6 hours when you started walking into the zone, so it's probably pushing 7-8 hours at the moment.
Right, I would recommend that we spend some time searching. I can't do a voice at the moment, my throat's on the way out. We spend some time searching these cars and possibly pick something that's relatively intact to hole up in overnight and then tackle the bridge and the other side in the morning, because otherwise we're going to lose the light just as we go over the bridge into a new zone. New
And we
sector.
probably want one of the bigger ones as well if there's one of them intact.
Yeah.
So we're looking for one of the big ones with 4 doors
Yes.
or
Big
more.
one with 4 doors and potentially a trailer, because some of these vehicles pulled trailers. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, if any of the trailers are still attached, then yeah.
Don't seem to be any trailers actually.
Well, they're on wheels and easily moved, so I would imagine that they'd be the first thing that got taken if anything was left.
Yeah,
I'm
makes
kind of
sense.
worried about what took the wheels to begin with, because it was not our people.
See now, I need to ask Felix this. You said there was no rubbers on the tires. Did you mean there were no tires, but the wheel hubs were there, or the whole wheel hub was gone?
Depends. A bit of both, actually. Some of them have the entire like naval capsule and everything. Like naval capsule, that's the wrong word. The entire wheelhouse gone as well. Yes, and some of them have just the like an empty metal wheelhouse, as if the rubber has burned off. So it seems to be. It seems to vary a lot. There's a lot of car wrecks in this sector, like a lot of them. Probably up to like 100.
That's a lot of cars.
Yeah. Keeping in mind the sectors are fairly large, and you can't see like all of them, but from walking into this sector, you know that there are a lot of cars, and varying degrees. And because I'm assuming you said you're spending some time looking through the cars.
Mhm.
Yeah. As you notice that the ones who seem to be less like damage from fire or from just apocalypse seems to have some form of scrape marks, or almost all of the ones who seem more intact seems to have been recently damaged in other ways. There aren't
Already been gone
strictly-
through.
Potentially, there aren't strictly like weather beaten, or like there seems to be other damages on them. There aren't strictly fire, weather, or a combination of both.
Mhm.
Like some kind of mutant with claws has been clambering over them, leaving indentations and scratch marks.
No, they look more. You notice there seem to be more along either things that can open or things that can be removed. And it doesn't look like claw marks. You've seen claw marks. You have a dog. You have seen the dog claw marks on cars.
It looks like tool markings, like a crowbar or a hammer, right?
Potentially.
Or
They're
They're
screwdriver.
taking everything that's
Yeah.
easily removable.
It looks more like metal on metal, yes, than anything else.
Yeah. If it's a mutant that's at least as intelligent enough to use tools. But we're supposed to be the only people left, according to... Is it the Elder? Oh, yeah, the Elder.
Well, you say that, but we know that we're not because
No, everyone
Brock found
from
someone.
With that first mission, all of those people were from our arc. They just left.
No.
Okay.
Brock was talking about someone else, someone not of the ark. Brock said there was someone else out there.
Brock was
Out
talking
there,
about...
perhaps.
He was talking about a site.
Yeah, Eden, he called it. Eden.
Yeah,
Mm.
a place to save our people. There's something there, but he didn't say anything about people being there.
Well, I got the impression that he knew there were people there, because where else would he be looking for it? Otherwise, he's just going someplace else.
Yeah.
There's no point in that. So he's going there to meet more people. So we know there's people there because, and he had the card. We took the card off of him.
And then we gave it back to Alona.
Ilona, yeah. So Ilona's got the card, but she ain't going to be able to do anything with it until we can find this place for her anyway. So she's going to have people looking for it.
I should point out as the God coming down here from the clouds.
Word of God.
Hello, God.
Give me some insight. It wasn't specifically Brog who's talking a lot about Aiden. It was the cultists, the people out. They were speaking a lot about Eden, and the potential salvation within it, or as it, or unspecified. Just leaving again.
But I think it would be somewhat big-headed of us to assume that we're all that's left.
Yes.
Well, it would be big-headed to assume that we're all that's left, but we haven't seen evidence of other people until now, if there are other people, and this is a person.
Then we best keep looking, because there's evidence of a person.
We should also keep an eye on our backs, because we don't know how they'd react to us.
Sensible.
What can we see across the bridge?
Roll me a scout.
I can't scout.
I, however, can.
Oh.
I can, I just don't have the skill.
Yes.
I do.
You can always try. All
Off
of you
you
can
go.
scout if you wish.
One success.
Ooh.
I mean, my wits is very high, so...
Now, remind me, which dice is the skill and which dice are the attributes? I forget which is which.
The skills are green and the attributes are yellow.
Perfect.
I've got 2 6s, 1 in each. Almost like it's my thing.
I have 2 6s, 1 in each.
Oh, look at you.
Almost like it's your
My
thing. We can't let her get too big-headed about her abilities.
Just gonna
How
check
am I
quickly.
going to stage a revolution and take over the entire arc without everybody thinking I'm some kind of demagogue?
Right, with you two, so all of you use 1 success to succeed on the task. You can also use 1 of Ramus bonus and Swan's bonus to use 1 of 3 bonus, or if you have another question, you can ask that as well. Examples of questions are: is someone after me? Are there anyone else nearby? Or how do I get across, away, underneath, around?
I want to go with is there anyone nearby because I want to see if there's any traces on the other side of the bridge.
Cool.
And I want to go for, is there another way across without taking the obvious path along the bridge?
Yeah.
Cool.
Is
Right.
there a framework underneath that we can climb across? That kind of thing.
Right. So you all scout out over the river and decide for. It appears to be more rubble and concrete. You see hints of what used to be potential greenery and things like that. A lot more than you have on this side. And the rubble seems to be different than the others, than the rubble on this side. The rubble on this side is more like concrete, piece of glass, metal, things like that. You see a lot more red brick on the other side. And you also see some buildings that appear to be still standing, also made out of red bricks. When it comes to, I'm gonna take, that's what you see on the other side of the bridge. When it comes to Swan's question, you take a quick look around for any recent traces, sounds of people slurping, or usual things to detect people. You find tracks,
Goody.
tire tracks.
Oh.
You also find that they appear to be not very recent, there is debris and things that have fallen over them. They don't seem like ancient level.
Okay.
but they don't seem to be 5 minutes ago. Something between the apocalypse and 5 minutes ago.
That is so very clear.
Good to see we're limiting the frame.
You also see some of the some of the cars that are near to Rose appear to have been kind of knocked like on the piss, as if something has potentially hit them or something.
Okay.
Probably to knock them out of the way to make room for whatever they were wheeling.
Potentially. Yes, you don't believe. In short, the long and short of it is that you don't think that it's recent. It's probably not a couple of hours even. It's probably apocalypse to a couple of hours ago. No recent threat nearby. When it comes to another way around, the underside of the bridge seems to be fairly stable. Like you mentioned, potentially. I mean, the main issue is the part that's above the water, since you could potentially like hold yourself by your arms and like monkey bar on the side of it. But other than that, there don't seem to be like a good way across the river except walking on the bridge. You could potentially walk on like the railing of the bridge if you really wanted to. That could potentially be more stable since it's metal. This be
Or
holding
what?
fairly well.
One could just hold on to the railing while walking.
Yeah, could work as well.
I'm all for going over to one of those intact buildings on the other side if we're going to sit down and rest. Because it's a lot more protection from bricks than there is open cars with no windows.
This is true. However,
But also more likely to draw anyone that might be around if there is anyone.
Exactly.
Also true. But you can't assume that they're hostile or not hostile either if they are there.
Yes, we can.
You can't assume one way or another.
We can
And
assume
we
they are
can't assume
hostile.
that they'll assume we're not hostile.
Yeah.
So we've got to be ready for a fight.
Yes.
I
Always be
did bring a
prepared.
spear.
Alright, I brought a dog. Almost. No, can't say that in character.
But now I want to know what you were going to say.
Almost as good as an aardvark.
Crossover.
Do you have the rules for animal mutants? Just asking.
Hey, you know what? Maybe your dog is part aardvark.
Could have easily been thrown in there along the way.
Goose is actually a full-blown mutant with the secret tongue of an aardvark. When he licks you all the way round the head.
See, now
Wraps
I'm
around
no
your
longer-
throat and snaps your neck.
Now we have three creatures in the group with weird faces.
So, yes. But, hey, well, I've got lizard skin. How weird of a face do you want me to have?
Yeah, there
It
is
looks
that.
a lot softer than my face.
That's not my
His
problem, is it?
rock hard face.
Now
Mr.
you
Moon
just...
the face of Ench.
He says that, and now you just know the face arms are just doing the whole guns thing.
I've been imagining that the entire time, just they're constantly flexing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make
yeah.
too much sense because Mr. Moon doesn't have much in strength.
I
Nope.
know.
Just the idea of constantly like Popeye flexing is too good.
It is.
When I'm not consciously using them, they have a mind of their own and react according to whatever we're talking
Oh,
about.
they're just playing fun war with each other.
Sometimes.
I hate when like, Mr. Moon, are you bored? No, I'm not bored. No, I swear. Anyway, back to
And,
the game.
when I'm running, when you stick your hand out the window of a car, do the whole airplane thing.
Uh-huh.
They're doing that when I'm running.
Oh, it is. God, I love and hate your arms so much. Oh. Anyway, moving on.
Please.
Right. What are you doing?
No.
So, do you guys want to stay on this side and wait until later to go across, or do you go across now?
My preference would be to stay on this side until first light tomorrow, and then go
same here.
across.
All right.
'Cause we don't want to be exploring
There's too much
new.
unknown over there.
Yeah.
Just as it's getting dark, we'll be getting across, and we could be walking in a whole load of trouble
Yeah.
from someone or something that's already in those nice and secure, comfy buildings.
Exactly.
Cool.
See, I've been watching you. I know you Zone Stalkers think a little bit.
You know, I've been watching you is not necessarily what you say. To...
I've got no airs or social graces, not like you, Zone Stalkers. And I know you've got your
enough.
social graces because you don't like showing your face.
It's just politeness. It's basic politeness. Those of us with weird faces, she says, giving Mr. Moon a really weird look, need to make it nice and fluffy for those who don't have weird faces. Possibly. Look, let's just set up a garden, see what happens.
Right. Do you all find like separate cars, or would you like to cram into one car, or how would you like to proceed?
Separate cars nearby each other, I think, because there's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of room, especially with everything melted inside.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's gonna be a bit hard. Like some of you are going to have to be maybe one car away. It's hard to find three that are perfectly fine and sleepable, while
Right.
also not like raining in or being far too visible and things like that. Since you are also trying to find a safe space that isn't too visible where you're going
Yeah.
to. But you all managed to find cars that are fairly acceptable. You've been used to sleeping in cars before. This isn't
I live in one, so it's,
exactly.
We we each have a car as a home.
Right. As you begin to tuck in for the night, is there anything you'd like to do, or
very
Possibly eat.
personal question. Yes, using food.
Just a second. Yeah,
How
eating some
people
food,
fix for
drinking.
grub.
I was going to do the food and drink on the morning actually. Since
Okay, that's fine.
instead, so
Okay.
it makes it easier to track that you've done it.
Because
I
of
mean,
course
in
we have a
terms of-
little.
In which case, we probably want to set a guard rota so that someone's
Mhm.
awake.
It'd probably be best for either one of you to do first and last, simply because.
Well, I'll take first because there's two of us. So
Okay.
if either me or Goose is asleep, the other one at least will be awake and alert.
Fair enough.
That'll
take
give
the-
you a reasonable dose of sleep before you wake up to do your stint.
Okay.
Right. So you set up a watch, taking a couple of hours each. Just give me a second.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Moon is going to be drawing sketches of the bridge and the cars and writing down notes.
I forgot he drew everything.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna do a quick little roll here.
A happy little roll.
Why am I doing that one instead of doing that one? There we go. Right. Okay. Mhm. 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 Mhm.
This is the last time I went to a solicitor.
Why don't all of you just roll a scout for me, please?
Okay.
Okay.
3 6s.
Damn! 2 6s.
1-6.
Right. Who is having first boss watch Rayma, second Mr. Moon, and then Swan as last? Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going into. We're starting with Rayma's shapes. The night in the zone is very, very dark. Are you using any form of torches, or are you just
Nope, dogs can see in the dark a lot better than humans.
fantastic? Right.
I'm relying on Goose's night sight.
Right. You and Goose. Your ship seems to pass without too much of a hassle. The sky is mainly grey and dark. As you look around, there don't seem to be anything worrying, like either weather-wise or monster-wise, or anything like that. At one point, though, towards the end of the shift, Goose kind of looks a bit more alert, and not like in a "there's something here now, we're going to die," in a and kind of walks a bit towards closer to the river.
Okay.
Would you like to do anything, or
There
Not
could be
just yet.
creatures. There could be a something.
Get ready for a. It could just be it could just be something walking past. And let's face it, it's dark. We're not going to go and bother it because it could be something nasty walking past. And if it's not aware of us, it would suddenly be aware of us if we bothered it.
yeah?
So
Yeah.
we're going to hunker down and wait and see. I shall surreptitiously make sure that I've got my bike chain handy and that I've got my jacket on just in case I have to get into a bit of a scrap. But
Yes.
I'm not going to actively seek out as to what might be getting Goose's attention.
All right. You kind of take a step back and kind of wait, and Goose is waiting too. Eyes and ears firmly pointed towards the way of the river. And 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass, and your ship is nearing its ears, and after a bit, Goose kind of like lowers her head and kind of looks back toward you. Like the ears kind of go in a more relaxed state. I don't know much about dogs. I'm winging this.
Yep.
And seems to be relaxed a bit more.
Okay. I'll point to Goose to get comfortable and she can try and get comfy in the car or something.
She jumps up and does the snorkel thing. Just now.
And then I shall wait out the end of the shift.
Right. Mr. Moon, you had one success, right?
Mhm.
What do you spend your shift doing,
So
actually?
at shift changeover, I will tell Mr. Moon exactly what happened and that we didn't do
Good
anything
call.
and why, so that Mr. Moon is aware, and I'll point him in the direction of where Goose was looking.
Sweet. What would you like to do during your shift, Mr. Moon?
Sit on top of the car that I chose, very still, looking around. Obviously not being able to see much, but I'll also be writing.
Yeah.
I can't see what I'm writing, but I figure my hands know what to do.
God.
Very
You-
small notebook held up in front of your face while they do their thing.
No, the notebook's down here, one hand, and the other one's writing, and I'm
Okay.
looking.
Terrible. Terrible. Right. So,
I am mostly keeping an eye in the same direction that was pointed out to me.
right. You spend your shift mainly, and at one point, you think you see something close to the bridge, like not anything fast, like not a shadow wishing past or whatever. It's just some light movement. It's far too far away for you to actually see anything. It's mainly just, when it's that dark and you kind of see a shape that there wasn't like a shadow that wasn't there before, and then it's gone again. Just movement. It could
And
be
it's-
the wind. It could be.
It's down near the bridge.
It's near the bridge.
Does it look like it's in the water or up on?
You don't think it's near the water, no. You don't see any like ripples or hear any sounds of like the water moving, so you don't think it's water adjacent. You would believe that it's closer to land.
If it is something, it's far enough away that I'll keep an eye in that direction.
Alright. And your shift passes.
Swan,
Yes.
Raymer said that, well, Goose heard something, and there was something down near the river, in the direction of the river that they were listening to.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't agitated, didn't come this way. During my shift, I saw something move. Don't know what, couldn't really tell, it was too far away. But it hasn't bothered us or come this direction.
You didn't
So-
investigate it.
What?
You didn't investigate it.
Why would I go investigate in the dark by myself without waking up people to help me?
I didn't say you should. I was just checking you hadn't and therefore haven't been possessed by some glorpy little rot beast of a mutant slug.
Yeah, no, I didn't investigate.
Just checking.
Valid concerns.
If I was possessed by a mutant slug, I would tell you the same thing.
Yes, but you probably do it in a glorpy manner.
as you say, glorpy, my arms separate a little
Okay,
bit.
don't try and do that voice drop when you've got a cough. That ain't happening. Excuse me.
It's right. Roll for gloves, please.
Roll for corpse.
Yeah. Roll for globules. Take gloves. God, I hate your arms.
That's really personal.
Yeah.
God, I hate your arms.
Mm-hmm. I'm a man of specific hate, what can I say?
Fair enough.
Right. Your shift, Swan.
Yo,
You got 3 successes?
I did.
You're a fucking machine. So, you...
We know this is drunk. We know this.
Yeah, I know, I'm just constantly, whenever it gets proven, I get,
I'm sorry.
It's not accepted. I'm not accepting your apologies anymore. I'm only looking for your doom and death. And I'll get it.
That's fine. I'll just run Halloween. It's all good.
Unfortunately, the only way that you're going to kill Drut is if you give us a monster that kills her before she can roll.
Can we please just clarify that you're talking about killing my character,
Yes,
not me?
yes.
I'm talking about your character.
Of course. I would
Probably.
never commit actual murder.
Maybe.
Just checking.
Anyway,
It's fine.
you, what would you like to spend your shift doing?
I am going to spend it patrolling down towards the bridge
Right.
and along the riverbank because there is something down there.
Yeah, okay. You start walking riverwards. You start sneaking, I assume, as well.
Yeah.
Roll a sneak for me, too. That's a skill, right?
It is. It's even a skill I think I've got.
She was going to judge me if I had investigated. Now she's going to investigate and come back possessed by a glorpy face slug.
Mm-hmm.
And?
I need to add Glorpy Face Slug as a monster in the record. I have to.
I'm just happy with the word glorpy. Since it's-
Glorpy is fantastic.
It's so descriptive.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Glorpy.
3 successes. But to be fair, I was rolling 5 dice, so there's...
I've rolled 13 dice before and got no successes. I'm upset.
I think my record's
It
27.
sounds like you're
Yeah.
getting a bit petulant, Felix.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I?
I don't know, why would you?
Why would I? Right. So you start heading towards the river, like dodging between the cars and making sure that your movements aren't detectable and that you're making sure that the way the light falls, make sure that you're always in shadow and that your shadow won't be detectable from the other shadows as you move. You are a god.
Okay.
You are so silent. And As you start sneaking towards the river, you noticed distinct shapes further off. You noticed a couple of shapes on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You notice a couple of shapes that have left the bridge and are on your side of the river.
What?
You see a group of what appears to be humanoids.
Okay. Right, I am going to...
They are not silent,
No.
and as you stand and listen, like walking, you're still kind of far away from them.
Uh-huh.
In, I would say, long distance. You can hear like occasional hisses and
Oh, well, that's not good.
other noises as if they are communicating in some way in kind of low voices. Yeah. But there are definitely noises coming from these humanoids.
Have we met the mutant animals? Is that what's about to happen?
Martin Fillin. Right. Okay. This is... maybe we're going to be attacked by the ghosts of Martin the Martin. No, not the ghosts, the spiritual inheritors.
The spiritual inheritance of Skipper Martin the Martin.
Yes. Yes, the humanoid Martins, which
They're
won't be
coming to
in
us.
any...
You haven't been
Problem at
playing
all.
nice, Miss Swan.
Exactly, yes. This could be an awakening of a spiritual kind, or we could just kill them.
Have you respected your parents recently, Miss Swan?
Have you eaten enough small rodents to justify your devotion? Right, I'm going to ghost back to where Rayma is with Goose.
You sneak back.
Yes. I'm going to have to make a stealth roll, aren't I?
No.
Oh,
I'll let them
okay.
carry. Mutant says specifically that shouldn't, like, your players shouldn't roll as much, and I'm trying to get out of the D&D thing where you roll for everything, so it's fine.
Okay.
Keep it. Keep your good dice. I don't need them.
Not my fault. But, yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to ghost back and quietly wake Rayma. And more importantly, Goose. And point out that we have company.
You do so.
And, yep. So,
How
You're
violently is
waking him
Goose?
up early?
Are you waking me or Goose? Who's first?
Goose is
One
first.
shape Priorities, yeah.
Yes,
Right, you get the important one first.
exactly.
Also, dogs don't need nearly as much sleep.
It's because dogs can sleep at any time.
And frequently do.
Yes.
I
They're
They're
will.
like this that way.
I will gently, sort of pat Goose on the head, awake, on the grounds that he should recognize. Or Goose is a she, shouldn't?
Goose is a she.
Yeah, that she should recognise me.
There's a small, very small whine as Goose wakes up and recognizes you and
Yep.
kind of
Okay, Goose.
pokes him a bit.
Shh. And then I'm going to wake up Rayma by putting my hand over his mouth and then tapping him on the forehead and
Do
whispering.
I realise when I'm awake what's happening? Because if not, there's a strong chance I'm going to lash out and try and punch whatever's holding my mouth.
You have the sensation of a small, I won't say dainty hand. I imagine.
She
one of
does.
these-
She really does. She's got. She's so wussy. Her strength is so crap.
Quick question: have you done this before? I guess is the.
That's
What
my
about, have
first-
you done this before to Rhymer?
Yes.
Not to Rhymer.
Right. You feel a small, dainty, a small, dainty, thin hand. You can almost feel the bones. As a hand suddenly pushes down and jerks you awake.
When was the last time she's washed her hands, man?
Oh, never.
If you wait
Am I
long
aware
enough, the dirt
that it's
solidifies, and you can just peel it away.
What's your wits actually?
My wit's 4.
Well,
God for that.
yes, you feel danger, and even though like the shock of suddenly being touched in your sleep, like jolts you awake, you fairly quickly do the math in your head of small hand, swan, soul stalker, no manners, swan.
I'll grab a wrist, move it away from my mouth. Don't ever put your hand over my mouth like that again.
Shut up. We've got company.
Excellent.
Right, go and wake up Moon.
Why do I get this shit job?
Because he likes you. I don't know, shake hands with his face or something.
Yeah, right. I'll go get Moon.
Yeah. Get Goose to lick him awake or something.
I'm happy that Goose is allowed to come with me.
Go.
I shall go to Moon's car.
Right.
Goose, go lick him awake.
Mr. Moon is like laying somewhat upside down with his feet kind of where the dashboard was, and his head's down near the boot, and one of his face hands is like flopped over this way, and the other one's over his eyes.
Oh, I love it and hate it. You feel the sensation of something tickling your fingers. Not your big fingers, your face fingers. Which is a terrible thing to say.
I don't wake up my fingers, my face fingers wake up and start petting him.
Mm-hmm. Right. That threw me. I don't know why. I don't know what I expected. Jesus, I hate that your face fingers are... Your face hands are basically an NPC at this point. They're basically their own entity.
Yes.
The funny thing is as far as mutations go, if I use it as a mutation, it's for climbing faster and doing things. I can't remember the whole description.
Yeah. God. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's... Yeah, your face armor are ripped, but they're only good at climbing. Yeah.
I can't remember what direction Hump was for. I think it's just I can know where north, south, east, and west is.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing the birdhouse, I think.
I can't be lost.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think we can give it a go.
Goose realizing, although the pets are nice, realizing her mistake, you suddenly feel the tug on your eyelids of a tongue, gently licking you awake.
Oh, stop! Okay.
You were woke
okay,
up when
okay.
I washed my hands. I've seen what Goose licks.
Why didn't you just shake me awake?
This was funny.
It was more fun.
Fair enough.
I want to spend more time out here, so I'm trying to learn what the Rift Stalkers do. And that's what Swan said. So
Yep.
it must be the
I
way to do
think
it.
Swan was just telling you to do that to be a dick.
Oh well. It was fun
Anyway.
anyway.
I pick up my spear and my pack.
Mhm.
Where we go?
Find Swan. She's this way.
Yep.
And I shall lead him back to where Swan is. Because hopefully Swan has still got a bead on where they all
Yeah,
are.
Swan has basically taken cover behind a closer car to the people and is endeavouring to watch them
Right.
and see what details she can draw from that.
Right.
Mr. Moon, walk slowly, walk quietly.
Walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm.
I wasn't gonna say that.
I am, because these could be snaky people.
Why don't both of you roll? No, actually, how far away from the humanoids are you, Swan? In like long, short, arm's length or close, in the mutant terms, so to speak, or distance.
I am probably no more than 3 car lengths away. Sort that one out for yourself.
I will. I think I have it written down in my cheat sheet, but I don't remember. I also have 2 cheat sheets for some reason. I really should boil them down into one, but I haven't. That's on me. That doesn't help too much. I see it somewhere. Right, I think that would be long distance.
Okay.
I'd say. Could be short.
3 car lengths is you're looking at 4 meters per car on average, and
it's.
so
I
yeah,
think
it's only
long
12
is like
meters.
100 meters. So
Yeah,
it goes,
so-
so.
It's short.
Right. Yeah. Short is 20 to 30 meters, so it's short distance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. In that case, I will need you to sneak.
Had a feeling.
And give me a second.
I don't want to know where your second set of arms, extra arms, would be.
They'd be probably poking out of my thighs.
Oh, that's as bad as I thought that could be.
Knee arms. Just
Yeah,
sitting on his
so
knee.
behind, so coming up behind the thighs.
Oh,
Why?
why are you like this, Shard?
Hey, this is supposed to be a fun and imaginative game, and I am going to go all out.
No,
noted.
we love it and hate it.
I got 2 successes on being sneaky.
The rest of you two.
Okay.
I don't want to roll to sneak.
Too bad.
I have 2 successes on being sneaky. If I can use my bonus to assist Mr. Moon, I will.
It's agility, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what assistance would do. That's 1 success.
One success. All right. Cool. You all make it. Both Rayma and Swan, you can use your bonus for a +1 if you want to attack. Basically creating an ambush.
Okay.
Right. So as these two are sneaking up to you, Swan, you kind of observe this group of humanoid.
Yeah.
They seem to be quite many of them, like 10 or something.
Okay, so we don't want to kick off if we don't have to.
But fairly quickly, you notice after they still seem to be somewhat lowly communicating in some way, potentially, or at least making noises. You're not sure if they're actually communicating, but you see a couple of them split off and kind of start working their way out from the main group.
Do they look like they're endeavouring to be quiet?
They seem to be making some attempts, but not too much. They're definitely not as sneaky as you are, and they're walking kind of slow. They're not obviously making noise. They're walking slowly and carefully, but they're not like hunkered down sneaking. And you also, now that you're a bit closer, you can kind of see more what they're wearing. They look fairly humanoid, kind of on the shorter side, about your length. Some of them even a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And all of them seem to be wearing some form of like plastic-ish garment, with like little hoods covering most of the face and all of the most of their head, and all of them also seem. You see one of them as it moves kind of a bit closer to where you are. You see this white plastic thing with 3 holes. The bottom one is slightly like elongated, and the other ones are just black voids. And you see another one a little further back that appears to be wearing something that you think you recognize as a gas mask. And it's still dark, so it's kind of hard to see. But they all seem to be wearing some form of you don't see their faces.
What is under the masks? There's no way this is going to end well. It does imply if you take the mask off them, they'll panic. If they're that worried. It is not mutant which can adrenaline with strange rot, even mutants may mutate. Okay. Right, Did you say the wheels were vaguely intact on these cars? It was just the rubber had gone.
Different between the different cars. Some of them have the wheelhouse, some of them definitely not. Most of them do not have the wheelhouse.
Okay.
Um,
Right. I was just wondering
It's
if there was
probably
sufficient
the only
clearance
one. The only ones that are missing the wheelhouse and the entire wheels are the ones that were intact when they were found, whereas the ones that were just melted rubber are probably ones that they couldn't use.
Right. I think watching them and trying to figure out what they're doing, rather than kicking off. But I am watching the two who split off from the rest of the group.
there's more than two that split off. There's about 4 of them.
Okay. Are they all going in the same direction, or are they all working in their own individual ways?
Different direction.
Right. Is
That's helpful.
any individual one of them coming anywhere near where I am hiding?
Not at the moment, no.
Darn.
Please don't start a fight that we don't have to. We could just try talking to them.
Wasn't going to start a fight. What makes you think I wasn't simply going to talk to them?
At this point, though, the other two.
Because you're a swan.
Oh, that look.
I'd love to see.
But
But yeah, at this point, your two companions, or shucklefucks, or whatever you like to call them.
I wasn't going to, but yeah, you go off. I'm going to see how the newbies react to these people, to my companions.
Yeah, at this distance as well, you can also see these humanoids, these things. Would you like to stay and observe for a bit, or are you going to act immediately?
I'm going to observe. From what I've seen, assuming I've seen all 10 of them, they outnumber us. Acting is a really, really bad idea.
A couple of them you don't see as many as Swan saw, because some of them have moved beyond
Okay.
the sight. But you see that there's a lot of them.
That's enough for me to hunker down and observe.
Right.
There's not enough light for me to make out details about what's on them from this distance, is there?
No. Is there anything particularly you're trying to look for?
Actually, mutations,
Weapons.
different shapes to them, weapons.
You
Okay.
don't see any like obvious 2 arms or like, anything like that.
Yes, having only 2 arms is a mutation.
Yeah. Well, for 2 extra arms then. You don't see, and once again, a lot of them are covered, or like it's hard to make out, but they all seem to have like a similar shape to them at least. But you stand to observe a bit, and 5 minutes passes as you're kind of watching. A few other of them start walking out a bit more too. And then you hear what sounds like a shriek. And all of them, in the snap of a second, starts running towards the shriek. And appears to be throwing themselves over something. I should specify, the shriek doesn't sound human.
And they run towards it, not away from it.
Yes, they run towards it and see appears to be throwing itself over whatever this is.
Uh-huh.
A hunting party?
Could be.
Even the ones that were further away rush, meaning like 2 of them rush kind of close-ish to where you are, but you quickly hide down and they don't.
What's Goose's response to the screech?
Goose has immediate attention towards the screech as well, but since you are waiting, Goose is waiting too.
Should we follow and so we can be able to observe whatever they're doing?
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
We move closer and we take a look.
Right, you start sneaking after. I'm not gonna require rolls again since it's fine. And
We know what we're doing.
sure, it's an open area. Like it's not super difficult terrain to sneak across, and there's plenty of cover. So you start sneaking after, and you come upon a scene of 10 of these creatures tearing into, and you've seen the carcasses of these before. These are zone critters, like basically mutated giant rats.
Oh, nice.
And you
Yummy.
see as these things with like with their hands like are tearing the flesh off of them, having caught and are currently working their way through eating them.
Without
You see
even
a couple
cooking
of
them first,
masks
they just
skewed as blood is dripping, and these things are shoving raw meat into their faces.
I am so glad I didn't just introduce myself.
Yep.
I thought you said there weren't much rot around here, Swan.
There
That was
isn't.
pretty fucking rotten to me.
The
Yeah,
noises
that's
that are
rot
coming
on
from this
legs.
is terrifying. There's a lot of snarling and guttural noises as they are just devouring.
Oh,
So they've-
great.
They've taken their masks off to eat the rats, presumably.
No, some of the masks have been like thrown to the side. None of the masks are fully off, but the masks have been like moved just so they can shove it. At some, like, you can also see like blood smears on some of the masks as they've kind of haven't quite gotten their masks off in trying to shove food into their mouth.
Great. Fantastic.
And you said that they came across the bridge?
They did. They did. They came across the bridge. They're all wearing gas masks, and they were wearing gas masks. And I don't
You
know
know,
what
I
they
heard-
are.
I heard of something that we don't have, but it's basically a rock, and you throw it, and it explodes.
That sounds dangerous.
And not a lot of good if we ain't got one.
Nah.
Right.
You see also, since you're now a bit closer, the person with the gas mask specifically, the thing with the gas masks, the gas mask. The gas mask doesn't seem to be like, there doesn't seem to be any hard parts to the gas masks. It seems to be just latex with like it has a filter, but it seems to be like completely soft.
It's not a mask, is it? I want to kill these people. I want to kill them because they personally offend me by their existence.
They outnumber us, Swan.
Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't done it.
This would be a good time to move on. We didn't find anything in this zone except for whatever they are. There might be something on the other side, but that's apparently where they came from.
This is an ideal time to either move on or to stay the hell put. If they're not hunting us. If
What
they're-
you're saying is sometimes the best way to get the hell out is to dig the hell in.
Yeah,
All right.
we stay still. We don't give them anything to chase.
We hunker down.
Yep. And hope they go away.
Maybe underneath one of the cars?
That's what I was hoping for when I was hoping some of the hubs might still be intact to give
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
enough elevation.
Right.
Not the wheel arch, but the actual hub
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
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 You can find a car that's you can find like if you spread out among two cars, you can find two cars you can hide underneath.
Okay.
You won't be immediately next to each other, and two of you need to group up, but you
No
are able to
problem.
hide.
Okay.
And we'll be able to see feet coming if they are coming this direction or going elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. If nothing else, you'll be able to hear the noises since they don't seem to be too careful about being super quiet.
Well, they're not anticipating loonies underneath cars, to
Hopefully
be
not.
honest.
So
Yeah.
you wait.
Yes. Wait and
Yes.
watch and take notes, I suspect, if you're Moon.
Oh
They
yeah,
hear
no,
the
there's
scratching
already,
of their paper.
there's already a nice artwork of the zone beast with these men-like creature, people-like creatures crawling all over it, devouring it.
Hell yeah.
I have artistic skill.
You wait, and an hour passes as you're hiding underneath this thing, underneath the wrecks, and the devouring continues. It slows down, and there is some additional you can hear, like rifling through rubble and things like that. But since this was the Swan shift, which was the last shift,
Mm-hmm.
an hour passes, an additional half an hour passes after that, and the world starts to get a little bit lighter. And as it does, you hear the sound of, like, somewhere between a snarl and a growl,
Okay.
and the sound of movement. After additional 20 minutes, it's completely quiet.
Okay.
Did we
Right.
And
actually catch sight or sound of these beings going back the way they came?
you can't really see, since your vantage point is kind of... But you did hear the sound of movement. If it moved further in or back where it came from, it's hard to tell. Since it's sound and it's rubble and... but light has properly struck the zone at this point. And it is morning.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll out quietly, stand up and peer over the edge of the cars.
The zone seems just as abandoned as the day you first left the Ark.
Mm-hmm. So not very.
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Maybe they are nocturnal.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, whatever they are, they might be asleep now. We could make our way over and find them if we wanted to.
and
And
if they're asleep, we can
wake
finish
them
off
up?
pretty quick. No. If they're nasty bastards, we finish them off while they're asleep. We don't need to wake them up for that.
Yep.
I
Why make our
get
job
it.
a little more difficult?
Do we really?
Mr. Moon's
I guess they
being
are
the
close
moral
to the Ark. We
conscience.
should probably take care of it.
Mm.
This is only 6 hours from the Ark. If they move any farther in and they find the Ark, there'd be a danger.
Yep. Exactly.
They are definitely carnivorous. And
Yeah.
And they don't cook like civilized people.
they do wear clothes, I hope.
I didn't notice any airs and graces about their eating.
No.
And I know you zone stalkers are very particular about your airs and graces.
Absolutely.
You said as much.
Yes. And I should
So-
always be believed.
All right, well,
Okay.
we know that part of the structure, well, most of the structure looks stable, and obviously they came across it, so it's stable enough for 10 of them.
Yeah.
Is Goose going to be able to get across, or are we going to have to... Do you have a harness for her? So you can carry her across?
It's broad enough for two people, so you don't think Goose would have any.
I
But
don't-
if I
I don't-
remember correctly, you still have your sleigh, right?
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to carry the sleigh. It's not going to be... Just because, like, there are some parts of it that have fallen, and just to make sure that it doesn't
Yeah.
caught on anything, it's just going to be easier to carry it. It's no issue. But just,
Okay.
It's the best way to carry a lot of gear.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we had on that, but I think you took notes on that, didn't you?
Pretty much everything that wasn't in our pockets.
Yeah.
It's mostly food and water, to be honest.
Mhm.
Stuff we
There
don't
was
necessarily
some-
want
I
to
thought
leave
we-
behind.
I thought we brought, like, some sleeping beds, or some sleeping bags or something like that, too, didn't we?
Hang on.
you were discussing buying a tent, but I don't think you actually did.
Yeah, that's
no.
true, because it was too heavy, because the tent
Yeah.
was, like, 10
Yeah,
spaces.
it was a lot of spaces and stuff, so we decided
Yeah.
against it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reminds me. You all have a quick breakfast. So
Minus one grub.
yeah, one grub and one water, please.
Okay.
I love grub and water.
Yeah, it's the best. I'm so sad that they've translated to just food. That's too boring.
Well, I think at some point when our culture gets high enough, we'll be able to start making real fancy grub.
It's just called fancy grub.
Yeah.
Just like grandmother probably used to make it.
Yes, I like that.
Uh,
Right,
Nice.
I am going to briefly take a bio break. Stick my head
yes,
under a
I
tab
was
or
about
something.
to, since we've done to just quickly take like a 2 minute break, 5 minute break.
Short break.
A short break, just because I also need to take a bio break and
Yep.
fill up my coke. So,
Right.
yes, as the dawn has set and you are all having a breakfast, so we will get a snacks. See you in a bit.
Okay, back in a moment.
Back in a moment, indeed.
I'm not going anywhere.
Don't burn the place down, Shard.
Look, I don't set fires, I put them out, as was noted the first time we played. I wonder if I have snacks. A short break would allow us to recover spell slots if alcohol is involved. We don't have spell slots. We have mutation points. I don't know how we recover those, because we use them, but we also gain mutations with certain roles. Also, we don't have hit dice. We've got rot points, and we've got damage, fatigue, confusion, and doubt, which is just damage to our abilities. They are a little weird, especially when you don't have a mutation that you can use during the normal course of stalking a zone. Me, in order to use mutation points, I'd have to use it to climb, or to find my way back somewhere. Like, if we needed to go a specific direction, I could point us in the exact direction we need to go. But we're following a river, we don't need the direction sense, so I can't potentially earn new mutations. Ugh.
You could earn new mutations by just I just go back. You could earn new mutations by just dipping yourself in rot water until you got enough rot points to potentially get mutations.
I thought rot points killed you.
Also potentially, yeah.
I mean, new mutations over time do tend to kill you, but I'd rather get it the honest way.
Yeah, no, I remember back when I was playing Mutant in my old campaign, and all the other players had at least 3 mutations, and I was stuck on 1 for like most of the time. Because I used my mutation a lot, but I got like a misfire on like twice or something. So
How many times do you got to misfire to get a new mutation?
I mean, it's depends on what you roll on the
Okay.
misfire table. There's a misfire table, and
Oh.
it includes everything from like, as we saw with Gamble, is backfiring and setting himself on fire to it can also like lock you out, so you can't do anything. You can't use it for a while, and things like that.
Oh, that would suck. My
Yeah,
poor
your
hand.
arms would just be limp. Yeah, sadly.
They'd be knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor friend.
Oh. You should name your abominations.
If I do, then I'm gonna have to change my
Who you want to protect?
who I want to protect. Yeah.
Fair.
Look, if Swan can have, she wants to protect herself,
But Swan is one.
And I am Mr. Moon.
Fair enough. God.
I will only ask for that if I come up with an epic name for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I could call them. What are the names of Gemini?
Do they have names?
Gemini, the twins. Yeah, they
Yeah.
both have. It's Castor and Pollux. Pollux?
Pollux. Isn't Pollux the North Star?
No, that's Polaris.
Ah.
I don't know why I'm. Yeah, it's Castor and Pollux.
Huh.
I was right.
Yeah. I mean, we could. Yeah, sure. God. I forgot to pick up a Coke. I'll be back in a second.
You know, Castor and Pollux are actually really good names for hands. Because casting and pulling. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Definitely. You like listening to the sound of Coke being open, don't you?
It's so satisfying. I don't even know why.
I need to see if I have a snack to munch on.
Yeah. Snacks are good. Yeah. That's very ironic. Though Felix Coster is a good name. Maybe I should add a second name. Again. Good. Anyway, I hope all of you are enjoying your evening. I'm having fun. So that's at least something. Should also clean up my notes at some point, but that's a later issue. Hello.
I have returned.
So you have.
Okay.
Hello.
Sorry, I didn't mute myself and you probably heard me yelling.
Yeah.
I have a snack.
A snack. Right.
Come back with the only thing I worship knowingly: coffee.
Oh.
It's just, no. I'm so sorry. I am a bit out of it at the moment. Just this afternoon, having a migraine was not a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to make a note not to do it again.
Right.
So, by the way, Jut and Knight,
Yes.
my arms are now officially NPCs because they have names. Castor and Pollux.
I'm
So
not sure if there's
so
properly NPCs, because
so
in
I
that
c-
case I can control them, and I don't know if you if you want that.
I mean, that would be hilarious.
If they're NPCs, can I name them as my most hated character?
You have Custer. I'll have Pollux.
Pollux. Deal.
Wait, hold on now. Just to be clear, if you name them as your hated NPC, then you'd be having to mess with me and messing me up, and I'm part of your team and we're supposed to be working together here.
Welcome to the internal conflict that's going to create a ton of great roleplay moments.
I will allow this because it's funny, and that's the best reason to allow anything. I'm also going to allow Swan and Rayma to choose another NPC as well, so you can have.
Nice.
Jolly
Alona-
gracious of you, thank you.
Alona and Pollux. Which
There we go.
sounds rude, actually.
See, Since this is the case, may I maintain control over these two NPCs?
Yeah, fine. I might nudge in with a controller now and then, but in
fine.
general, they're yours to control.
This is purely so that if he dies, he can actually carry on playing running two PCs.
Okay, I didn't actually consider that as an option.
God,
I
So
did
he
not
can
consider that as an option.
Escape his
I
face.
need to kill Mr. Moon this instant.
You have two things running around. Great.
And they could have mutations of their own.
Oddly
Oh God,
enough,
that would be great.
yes, oddly enough, Fish, I was thinking exactly that. And the mouth in the palm of one face hand, and then it can be talking Pollux. I was thinking
Isn't that like something
precisely.
from Vampire Hunter D?
Yes.
You know, after a fashion, if that does happen, I would technically have had 2 children and succeeded in my dream by dying.
What you don't know is these are actually just 2 mutants. It's not your mutation.
They are
Yeah.
mutants.
They
in
are just
themselves.
mutants
They're
in and
just
of
your
themselves.
children having been spawned all wrong. They're just overdeveloped sperm on your face.
Oh wow!
Wow! Okay, that went to a place I didn't expect.
I said that and immediately regretted it.
I'm not surprised. Holy heck!
Did we just manage
someone
a triple or...
face palm counter
Yeah,
3 times.
that was either a triple or a quadruple facepalm.
I was busy eating ice cream. That was a triple.
That was a triple.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh no. It's got a cooldown, unfortunately.
It does.
Problem.
Right.
No, nothing's right about
No,
this.
yeah, all wrong. Moving back to the session. Oh.
Tristan?
Yes.
Yes?
Ooh, I do like that friends. I'll have to. Let's see about that. Right. So we are mutants are eating breakfast. What would you like to do after breakfast? I'm assuming you're also packing up your camp, but I'm also assuming you don't have much of a camp to begin with now.
There's not a
either,
lot to
so-
pack up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't unpack much. We just...
Is our plan, Swan? Are we going to go and hunt these things down and finish them off?
We're going to hunt them down, and if you must talk to them, we can talk to them then, but...
Who said anything about talking to them? I said, are we going
Mr.
to finish
Moon
them off?
repeatedly.
Honestly, if we're going to try and talk to them, I'd rather talk to them while they're dying.
I thought I was dark.
That was scary.
Yeah, that was right. In which case, Goose and I will go check out where they were feeding and see if we can bloodhound them down from there. See if we
If
can
there's
track where
anything
they were.
left.
They'll left a trail.
Maybe.
You don't eat that messily, and not leave a trail that a good dog can't follow.
Yeah, fair.
Ah, I forgot about the sense of smell.
So Goose sleeps
I
off.
was expecting more blood, but they were creepy. Who knows?
Goose sleeps off when the music swells.
You actually have 2 bloodhounds in your party, because Swan can also track.
Yes, this one can. But
I have the bloodhound talent.
Yeah.
why have a dog and hunt
And bark
yourself?
yourself.
Yeah, that came out wrong.
Right. So you very easily find the crime scene, I guess. The scene of the crime. There are
Mutant Year Zero does CSI.
yeah.
Just give me the UV lamp.
Yeah, and put down some like little yellow plastic things with numbers on them, and Moon sketches them off instead of taking a picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got this. Right. So, UCSI Miami, the crime scene. It is CSI Mutant.
Mhm.
Yeah. You find the place of the crime. It's not very hard. And you know where it was. You find a couple of these. I mean, you find exactly what you saw the night before, but now in broad daylight. There's a couple of these, of carcasses of these zone critters, I believe I've translated them as, but I'm not sure.
okay.
These
That's what
giant
I'm
rat
good
things. There's not much. I mean, they're fresh still, of course. And
Get
you
some
can,
good stock out of them.
yeah. There's not much left. There are a couple of like hard to reach places that aren't quite cleaned out. But I mean, you've seen a lion on like National Geographic, like the carcass of whatever the lion's been eating.
I've
Yeah.
seen fishy with a leg of lamb. I know exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah.
sort of
Oh,
thing.
Exactly.
good lord.
A bit more messily than a lion. You are you going to investigate further, or are you just going to sick the dog on it?
I'm not going to sick the dog on it because the carcass itself is likely to be rotten. What we're looking for is the scent of
Yeah.
where the devourers went. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
So staying on the lead so that she doesn't go to start chowing down,
Yeah.
because I don't particularly want Goose to eat a
No,
rock.
these are rot
We're,
beasts.
we're looking for the scent of those that left.
Yes. All right.
Where did they go? Where'd they go, Goose? Find them. Where'd they go?
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a sickum?
You know, it'd be really funny if they're sleeping underneath our feet in the dirt, in concrete.
Sink down.
Holy heck! Okay, 3 6s.
Nice.
Jesus.
That's 2 from the agility and 1 from the second.
It's not just me.
Jesus Christ. All right. Also, let me just quickly look up your whatever the Bloodhound one does.
You know what all these good rolls mean?
It's
What,
going to go
what
to
good-
rat shit later.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna go to rat shit when we're up
Oh,
against something.
You get 2 more dice. I don't know if you include those, but you get 2 more dice for tracking as a Bloodhound.
Let me roll 2 more dice. Hang on. That's another 6.
Ah.
How many total are that?
That's a total of 4 6s.
Right. There's only 3 questions, and you already know some of these questions. The questions are: how many hours after are you? Is the prey hurt, or is the prey alone? I think you know the answer to all of these questions. What would you like to know?
How many predators?
Uh huh.
The direction they went in.
Yes.
What else do we want to know about them?
If
With
you
that
make yourself
roll-
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you can have another one.
With that roll, could you ascertain exact
After
numbers?
you make it, you can watch videos.
Yeah,
while you
how
eat.
many predators? That was my first question.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah.
How many predators?
See previous Gonzo statement.
That's fine. I completely. I've been there many times. Where did they go?
I can also allow you to keep 2 of the. Well, you had 4 seconds, so you can keep one of questions if you like and use it later.
We might need that further on down while we're tracking them.
Yeah.
But yes,
Right.
certainly those 2 would be my immediate questions.
Okay.
We'll bank
Yeah.
one for later.
I mean, it's hard because Goose is a dog who doesn't quite count, but they don't seem Goose. There doesn't seem to be any more than the ones you saw before, or any less than the ones you saw before, which was about 10.
Okay.
And Goose immediately finds the direction. The direction appears to be towards the bridge.
Okay. Looks like they came from the bridge for sure. That's where Goose is leading us.
Right.
So if we're ready to pack up and haul out, let's
Yep.
roll.
Are you investigating the corpus anymore, or are you just leaving them because they're
I'm-
quite disgusting?
I'm not interested in the corpses. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to do anything with them. If we had someone with us who could like get some benefit from potentially rot infested corpses, then I'd say fill your boots
Yeah.
or your snout or whatever. But we haven't, so
I want to have a quick look at them. I want to try and judge their ages. Are we talking all adults, or are we talking some juveniles?
Ah, right. It's a bit hard. Are you talking like? I'm assuming you're talking the predators being young.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, I was linking off a link in my head there. Basically, I'm looking at bite marks. I'm assuming adults will have larger bite marks than smaller,
Right.
than children. See if they're breeding.
Yeah, right.
'Cause
You
people
you're
aren't.
taking a
Good
look
call.
at these.
Yeah.
First and foremost, a thing you notice is that these doesn't seem to have. I'm not sure. But from first glasses, they don't seem to have that sharp teeth. like these aren't strictly predator teeth. These aren't like all of the flesh hasn't been gnawed off the bone. Like they appear to have been gnawed as much as they can, but like no bones are properly like smaller bones you find cracked, but no larger bones are
Yeah,
actually
so
cracked.
yeah, they haven't been cracked and the marrow licked out or anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Some of them have like the smaller ones, but it appears
Okay.
that the thicker ones haven't. Um, I'm just gonna quickly. They all seem to be about the same. About the same size. Like you don't appear to find any obvious children, or like juveniles. I can't pronounce the words.
Juveniles.
Juveniles.
Children.
Okay.
Stop.
So all the marks are roughly the same sort of
Roughly
scale.
the same size, yes, and not
Okay.
super large. They seem to be. Yeah, they seem to be like about your size, honestly.
Okay.
Once again, a few of them are a little smaller, a few of them are a little bigger, but around swan size. Like you measure a bit, and it seems to be kind of similar bite marks as you would probably.
Okay.
A
Does
little
someone
sharper
actually
teeth.
put her teeth up that close to match the bite mark?
Maybe not. That's up to Swan.
You can do a lot with your eyes.
Oh god, don't tell me to take your eyes out, and because that would be a heck of a mutation.
That would be a really cool
You know,
mutation.
Very
graft your eyeball
cool.
to your hand to look around the corner. And
I wonder if I
I
could.
love it.
Have you
I
seen
love
the
this so
third
much.
D&D movie? There's a
Sorry?
guy in. Have you seen the third Dungeons and Dragons movie?
there's a third.
there was
no,
a
take that
third.
as a no. No, I haven't.
Yeah, there was a guy in that who can literally pop his eye out on its nerve and send it off
I love it and hate it. Ooh.
on its own to do scouting, and then just sort of reel it back in with this.
That's a body horror waiting to happen right there.
This is so very Beetlejuice right now. I love it.
Yeah. Right. But yes. I hope that answers your questions.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Some of the bones have been cracked. Not all of them. Have eaten as much flesh as they can. But
Yep.
not all of it. And smaller in size, I would say. Not super sharp teeth, like no obvious like large canines or anything like that.
Okay, so
Right.
we're probably not dealing with things with fangs. We're probably dealing only with normal human-style teeth on these creatures, who may also be people. So that's one less thing to worry about.
There were still 10 of them.
There are still 10 of them,
thereabouts.
yes.
You think, as you're like reflecting on what you saw yesterday, you're fairly certain that you've heard tales of these creatures before. Like when Zone Stalkers and similar like have talked about what they've seen in the zone, this is one of those classical like cautionary tales that you always hear about these things that just sneak around and
Okay.
attack things and eat them. These are zone ghouls.
Right. What do I know about zone ghouls?
That's about that.
Oh.
Like imagine like any Boogerman story you've heard.
Right.
You've heard so many rumors, and like it's the number one when people like that's why it took you a bit to actually make the dots, because you've heard so many like oh, but not you've heard so many stories that it's basically Boogerman, and then you see signs of it, you don't go, oh, you don't immediately go that that's the Boogerman I've been
basically
hearing about.
it's bloke down the pub's cousin's other half once
Yeah.
saw these and they ate her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Brog mentioned, one of his Zone Stalker buddy that they got their entire leg ripped off by one of these things. He never even saw them. Like things like that. Like imagine, like you're free to come up with any rumors or things you like of things you've heard about these nasty things, but you have definitely heard of them before. And
Okay.
Now you've probably seen one as well.
Yes. About 6 feet
We've
away
seen
from you.
10 of them
Yeah.
devouring a zone beast.
So
Yeah.
these
Money's
are zone. Hang on, let's get Swan back. These are probably zone ghouls. Incredibly dangerous, and we definitely don't want them getting anywhere near the Ark. So I think we can safely kill them with extreme prejudice.
When you say extremely dangerous, there are 10 of them and 4 of us.
They're extremely dangerous if you're smaller than them or already asleep.
Right, so
I-
if the situation were reversed, we're the extremely dangerous ones.
Yes.
Right.
You're sure that they're vulnerable when
Currently, Mr. Moo's hands are kind of like in his face.
Thank you for the shot of your arse there, Cat. Much appreciated.
have you
They're
dealt
not.
with them before?
They're well known to zone stalkers. That is not what you asked, and that's all you're getting.
The two of you probably heard rumors of them before as well. It's one of those classical.
They're
boogeyman.
not. They're nasty, but to be honest, I think we'll probably have the right of them. They're not very sophisticated, from what I've heard. And we have guns.
Well,
Correction,
you
you
have.
have gun.
Am I the only one with a gun?
I gave my semi-automatic pistol to the Ark
Did
to
you
advance
not
their
have
technology.
your own gun?
Also, guns make a lot of noise and get a lot of attention.
Yeah, they do.
Also, they waste money.
Seriously, am I the only one with a gun?
Yep.
Literally, every time you shoot someone with a gun, that's costing you money.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And we're back on Slay Industries. Yes.
I
This
have a
is true.
spear.
I have a chain,
And I have dog.
and I have a dog.
Oh,
You have
wait,
my
I-
spear and my chain.
I'm sorry. I do have 4 guns. These ones, yeah. These ones. But
So
they're not very big.
Does that mean you have 2 miniguns?
I do. I have 2 miniguns.
Oh. Oh, am I the only one who wants to give the finger guns a hand catapult? So one of them holds the catapult, loads it, and the
If
other
we,
one.
if we find, if
He
we
gets it
find
wrong,
a
it smacks him in the
slingshot-
nose.
Yeah, if we find a slingshot, I will totally use my face hands for slingshotting things.
Wishbone
be like-
would be logical, actually, wouldn't it? That would be about the right shape. A wishbone would be about the right size and shape.
And if you right down the center of my vision, I'd be able to shoot real well.
Yeah, but we've established it wouldn't be you doing it. It would be the skills of the hands.
Felix, are you losing your mind?
I feel like I've lost control
I think we've just seen Felix's soul depart his body.
over everything.
I think Felix has snapped. Poor
I
bugger.
thought I had control of the situation.
I am really sorry. I am really
I-
sorry.
I would like to apologize to all of my DMs for derailing their complete thought.
You see, this is karmic. This is gaming karma come to bite you on the ass.
I would never. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine. I'm back. We're snapping into it. Cool. What are you doing?
Do you need another break, Felix?
No, tell me what you're doing! We're moving this along, damn it! I'm moving this car forward!
I will turn this session around.
I'm turning the session forward!
Okay, I would
I will drive
suggest.
this car off the cliff myself
I will
without your
accelerate
help.
this car, damn it!
Right, how far across the other side are the buildings that we reckon that the ghouls are sheltering in?
Like 50 meters from
Right.
the.
Not too far.
There's like a bit. Yeah, there's. I mean, there's more than one building, all in like. So one of them seems to be a bit more whole than the other. There's a big giant pile of rubble, and one that's more like half.
Okay. What we need to find is where they're lairing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Um,
what
That's what
that's
Goose
what me
is
and
for.
Goose are for.
Yeah.
If
We find where they're
after we do
lairing.
this, we do want to stay on that side of the river, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to find some place over there also to hide our cart, so that it's not with us making noise when we try to sneak up on them and murder them in their sleep.
I was just going to leave it on the far side of the bridge, to be honest.
Just under a bush would do it.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Because it's the only things we have to worry about we're planning on killing. It's not
Point.
like we're going to have any random passers-by. Not
Yeah.
unless we get really unfreaking lucky.
Yep. Yep.
But yes, once we sort out where they're lairing, what do we have in the way of flammable stuff?
Our clothes,
Basically.
our bullets.
Camel.
Well, the bullet.
Is there anything left
one wouldn't know that.
fabric-wise or seat cover-wise in any of the cars? The less burnt-out ones? Thinking
no.
specifically also of the carpet inside the boots, which might not have burned.
You look around a bit, and you do find one that is mainly intact. Like, you find one or two that have like a giant hole in it, probably from a creature or something that is made into a snack. But you find one that is fairly intact. There's a couple of smaller holes in it, but it seems...
I'm just thinking, if they're lairing inside one of the buildings, we wrap a torch in this stuff that's not going to burn properly, light the whole lot, and that is just going to smoke like mad.
Yeah. And draw a lot of attention.
And draw a lot of attention. I was just thinking throwing it into the lair, which would then drive them out.
And we'd be then facing them when they're awake,
Yeah.
rather than...
Yeah. I was thinking awake and coughing and all distracted.
Did you notice the things they had on their faces
Well, yeah.
that stop them coughing when someone throws a burning rag down in
Okay,
their lair?
fine. So they're just being really socially responsible. Fine. They could get into any Aldi they wanted. There's someone to do that, don't you? Like World War II gas mask.
What?
I'm saying nothing
You haven't.
yet.
It would do the job.
Courtesy of assorted contemporary LARPs that I used to do, I do have a gas mask. Oh,
Yeah.
the top part of it, the
Yeah.
face part of the gas mask.
So do I. I have a Polish gas mask. It's waiting.
I considered when it became mandatory for me to wear a mask, going to a surplus army store and getting a full-on, just because. Why
Yeah.
not?
You'd need one with the filter so it filtered the
Oh, yeah,
outgoing
I'd
as
get new
well.
filter canisters. Yeah,
Yeah. But
But
yes.
generally, they're not that difficult to get hold of.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true indeed.
Believe it or not, during the Second World War, a lot of gas masks were manufactured.
I know.
A lot of them.
I know.
Hey guys, I just figured out, and I wrote it in chat, a great way to launder money and make explosives.
That's sneaky.
If you were a gearhead, yes.
Damn
Is it a
it!
specific skill for making things? We did not
This
do
isn't
that.
making things, this is taking them apart. Then hiring a gearhead, being like, hey, I found some explosive powder, make me a bomb. And pay him with bullets that no longer work.
Pay him with bullets
But
filled
you,
with
you would
sand.
need a gearhead to put the round back into the casing.
So I need to start up a laundering empire that they need to be part of.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna make
Crime.
things.
We didn't have a law against forfeiting, but now we do.
Oh, welcome aboard, Metrogana Glyph, and you are going to fit right in.
God.
How many lists are we on for saying that now?
What are you all doing?
Metrogenic glyph. We research things before creating a scenario. just from doing research for creating a scenario in just about any contemporary game, and possibly some fantasy ones as well, we're probably on a bunch of search lists for alphabet soup agencies around the world.
And the best part is there's so many of us on so many different lists that they completely ignore us. Thus, we can get away with doing such things if we had a mind to.
I had to
Which
look up how to
we
make a bomb. I'm a
don't.
writer.
Which, yeah, thank you, Drake.
Right,
Hobby
anyway.
Gamers International take no responsibility for the actions of any of their players.
I'm pulling this car together again. So I have to do
Sorry.
so by duct tape and force.
Look,
The
I
wheel-
know
Pulling
why.
the car together as it's slowly falling apart around me.
I know
The
why
wheel
I'm
accelerator.
gonzoed. What's your excuse? Oh, actually,
Where
I
are
know
you
what your
going?
excuse is. Okay, let's get
going
across the
across
bridge. Let's get across the bridge. Everything we want to do is across the bridge.
Right.
I'll help. I mean, I'm not strong, but I can climb, so I'll help carry the cart on the front end, and I'll use my climbing skill to make sure that I can stay level while carrying the cart.
It's
No issue,
two
you don't
person wide. It's
need to
it's
jump.
not some
Yeah.
Are you
kind
sure?
of bar.
Okay.
We're not
Uh,
talking Indiana Jones here.
Hey.
Goose is still tracking, by the way. And as soon as you start walking, Goose very eagerly starts. Still keeping within distance, of course, because she's well trained. But starts to follow the trail of something. And you all start heading to the other side of the bridge. There's no issue getting across the sled, like I mentioned. You just basically pick it up, and when you're on the other side, you drop it back down on the ground again. So, are you leaving it? Are you hiding it here, or are you taking it with you, the sled?
We're taking it with us. We're hiding it on the other side.
You're on the. You walk across the bridge.
Yeah, let's
Is there-
just hide it under this end of the bridge. There's going to be a gap between the ground and the bridge before it goes over the water.
Yep. Yeah.
Stash it under there.
Is there a stable bit of concrete in a nice crevice where we can stash it, where it's not going to fall down or be seen?
There is some shrubbery.
Shrubbery?
Mainly wilted and overgrown, but there's some shrubbery you can easily hide these right in.
We should probably, after we come back for the cart, take some of the shrubbery, because I heard that there are people out there that want shrubberies.
I was thinking we take the shrubberies hostage because they're rot infested and mutant and probably have names and families.
So
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Right. Are
Let's
you?
come on, Goose. Show us where they're sleeping.
Yes. You, Goose, very clearly seems to be leading you towards the more intact building.
Okay.
Like I said, there's a lot of them are rubble, and there's a lot of these houses. Like you can see, probably 10 of them, and they're very like long and big. Most of them are reduced to rubble. One is mainly intact, and there's one that like has a couple of walls still standing, and is intact-ish, but it still has a lot of holes and gaps out to the open. But Goose seemed to be leading you towards the one that is intact.
Makes sense.
Are you sneaking, or what are you
Oh
doing?
yes, very much sneaking.
Alright, go ahead and roll me a sneak, please.
all of us, I'm guessing, since we're all going in there to murder these things.
You say murder like it's a bad thing.
Just 1-6.
Alright.
Stealth, sneak. Is it on
1-6.
agility?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Just one.
I was about to diddle myself out of the die.
One is all you need. One is a success.
Oh, that is 2.
Of course. Right.
Sorry.
You managed to sneak without much of an issue. Yeah, I'm not gonna have one goose roll for one because that's gonna be so you start walking towards the building in question. There seems to have been a door here. There is not anymore. you see in like the door frame there is still parts of like a metal door. All of the glass are gone and most of the metal is gone as well. But you do, when you look at it, you could probably open it and close it if you wanted to.
It'd be very, very noisy.
Is that an innocent door, or was it framed? Okay.
There's no issue to step inside. Probably make less noise. Immediately inside, you see a staircase.
We're in a cutscene, aren't we?
You see a staircase going up and a staircase going down.
I can hear Resident Evil music playing. What's going on?
Suddenly, the perspective shifts and you're stuck.
The camera jams into a wall.
Yeah, and you have to start walking the other direction to make sure that fix camera positions. Anyway,
The camera gets stuck at a really weird angle because we're at wall, and all you can see is Goose's butt.
yeah, exactly. and you have to switch which direction you're working on the mouse to make sure that you're
Yes.
like, walking in the same direction again.
Okay, so it's okay. You can't use a torch and fire at the same time. So, Goose, lead the way, up or down.
Yeah.
I'm guessing down, but
Following Goose.
Goose is starting to head down.
yeah, were I a horrible corpse-eating monster thing, I'd probably hide in the basement as well.
Yes. Basements are really good and dark.
Yes, I gloss over the fact that we all live in a cargo hold.
It has plenty of holes. Let's see some sunlight.
Yeah, it's not like it's enclosed. There's
It's
holes
got
where the windows
plenty
used
of
to be.
holes.
Yeah, plenty of rust holes and stuff like that. It's fine. As you begin to head down the stairs, it's not super long, but the light, as soon as you step inside this building, almost immediately starts to fade out as you enter a dark enclosed space. On the bottom of the stairs, there is a big metal door. It's a bit rusted and a little dented, like a place. Seems to be fairly intact, and it's currently shut.
Okay.
What if this is the only way in and out? And we can just jam them in there and look like a star.
We'd have to check to make sure that there was no other way out. Also, they apparently know how to open the door, so how would we jam it in such a way that they couldn't open it?
I'm inclined to say, if they haven't got alternate ways out, they're no predators. They've probably got warrens somewhere. For all we know, all these buildings are linked underground.
Fair enough.
Which they weren't, but now I can see Felix just writing frantically.
Connect underground to main plot.
There's a plot?
I'm okay with that.
The plot is that you all die. So, you... No, I'm kidding. I would never needlessly kill my players, that's boring. So, what do you like to do?
Lead the way.
Well, they're the other
If
side of
we
that
open
door.
the door, it's going to wake them.
Yeah. Unless we can do it quietly. It's a big metal door. I don't think we can do it quietly.
Do you think Goose would be able to find another entrance to the same place? I mean, if we walk around, I could point to this exact spot.
I would very much like to burn this house down.
How do we stop them getting out if we do that?
I was thinking as they stumble out individually. We just we kill them on their own.
Isn't this place made of brick and metal?
Sure, we can make it burn if we really try hard enough.
To be fair, given how many times, like, old medieval castles burn down.
Yeah.
They had a lot of wooden flooring.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And most of the structure holding up in between was wood too.
Yeah.
If we open the door, we risk them hearing. If we don't open the door, we risk them coming out on their own terms, nicely organised the next time they hunt.
If we're going to assume that this is the only way in or out, we could just open it a little ways, wake them up, but stick something under to keep them from being able to open it all the way, and just shoot and jab at them until they all die.
But what if there is another way out, and then they
Come up
wedge
behind us.
They come up behind us.
Yeah, we do
They
not
wedge
want
us
to
in
be
here on both
ambushed.
sides.
That's why I want to look for another way in.
Let's go find another way. Right, Goose. Let's find another way in.
And if we don't find another way in, we could easily throw something
Seal 'em in.
flammable in there and burn them alive inside.
Or we could just seal them in and starve them. Let them eat each other.
Or that.
Yeah, they might, and that would take a long time.
They'll probably die of something else first. I wouldn't worry about that.
I love it.
Okay.
Right. So you head up again and out, I assume, and start walking around the building.
So,
What?
Mr. Moon, you said you could point to which building it is we're at, and let's see if we can find another way in. So,
Oh yeah, I can point to exactly where we were, but I'll have to use a mutation to do that. I know where I am in relation to where we were.
right. Well, let's see what Goose can find out first. Goose, find us another way in.
Right. I'm going to use your unused success on the
Okay.
tracking. If that's alright with you, or if you'd
Yep,
like to keep-
absolutely. No,
Yep.
that's good.
You start. Goose starts sniffing the ground and starts walking around this building. And after a bit of rifling, you see that along like the very bottom of this building there are windows. Goose seems to ignore most of these windows, but hidden behind, like it appears that the part of the roofing and like part of the upper floor as well has fallen down at one point, and Goose starts heading around the rumble, and you find, you see that behind this debris there is a window that Goose seems very interested in. It's like one of those, basement windows that are like about J big,
Yeah.
and it seems to be covered in debris.
Covered in debris.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, there seems to be debris like up against it, so it's blocking. It's blocking view in. You could potentially like try to make your way into like around the rubble to kind of look in if you wanted to, but I would require another sneak because there's a lot of.
No, that's a lot of noise. We're going to be quiet going in through the front door that we first found.
Yeah.
Well, Swan, you're the experienced one out here. What's your call?
Two fronts. You two through the door. And do you say because so I completely glitched out.
That's
That's
right.
fine.
Do you say we can see them through the window?
No, there is kind of like you're standing a bit away from the window because there is like rubble and debris. You could walk up closer. You'd have to roll on the sneak just to make sure that you don't disturb
I'm gonna
anything.
do that. gonna
No,
do
actually,
that.
roll me a move. Just kind of maneuver around the
Okay.
debris.
Okay. hang on. Sneak I knew offhand, but oh shit. Okay. 2 successes.
Successes, right? You managed to walk up to the debris. There's like a couple of ceiling plates and like some flags and stuff. You managed to hunker down and you look through, and you can see through the window. There is very little light ceiling, but as your eyes adjust to darkness and the very, very dirty window
I'm doing.
that is partly smashed,
Yeah.
you see some shapes in a room
Excellent.
underneath.
Okay.
With the
So,
metal
yeah.
door.
No.
I will retreat back then, because I might not be able to see the door from the windows. If you guys go in through the door,
Yeah.
because you're between you, Goose, and the fact that you two are wielding melee weapons, you're more likely to be able to engage in hand-to-hand with these things while they're asleep. When you go in, I will smash one of the windows and I can start taking pot shots from out here. That should confuse them. They won't know which direction the threat's coming from.
I'm wondering if there's multiple rooms on the other side of that
well
door,
be.
though.
Could be.
Could be. Is there any way you can smash a window quietly?
Theoretically, yes, by not smashing it. What are the window frames made of?
Wood.
Okay, yeah.
Seems to be.
Has one of you got a
quite
knife?
rotten wood, too.
Does one of you have a knife?
That's a very good question. Do I have a knife?
Because I thought I did, and apparently I don't.
think I do.
Didn't one of you have a knife? I think I had a knife.
I
We used
swear
it
to
for the
God, I
tram.
thought I had a knife.
I have a spear. I don't have a knife.
We used the spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not have a knife.
But you do have a spear.
Yeah, I know. It is rotten wood, you say, yeah?
It appears to be kind of
Okay.
rotten, yeah.
Okay. Right. In that case, I've established that Swan wanders around in a cloak. So what I'm going to do is one of the windows that's partially broken already. I'm going to wrap my cloak around my hands, and I'm going to try and basically jiggle it within its frame on the grounds that the rotten wood is more likely to give way than the glass.
Yeah.
Essentially, effectively, if I spread the force over as wide an area as possible by spreading my hands,
Yeah.
and then the cloak should protect me from the glass.
Yeah. It's a bit hard because once again there is debris covering. And the window is a low window, so you also need to you're in a bit of an awkward.
I think
Position?
she's going to be doing this lying on her stomach.
Yeah.
Is going to be the easiest way to do it.
But yes, you are of the small and you are good at agility and moving about.
Yep.
So you start wiggling, and it takes you a bit. But you can hear the low creaking as the wood begins to give way,
Yeah.
and suddenly you have a large piece of glass in your hand.
Yep. Windows open.
Excellent.
I'll put it down very, very carefully to one
Yeah.
side, and then replace my cloak.
Since it's broken, you're probably going to have to do it more than once
Yeah.
to just get all of the pieces out. But
Yeah.
you
Sufficient. Okay, does that leave me a big enough area for access, or does that leave me a big enough area just to see through? Are we talking little windows, or are we talking full height windows?
little window. Laying down on your
Yeah.
stomach, you could easily shoot. Just laying
Okay.
down and taking it. You would have some blind areas that you wouldn't be able to shoot through. But it is definitely possible.
Okay.
You wouldn't also be able to back up. You would need to be up against the window
Okay.
to be able to shoot.
When we do open that door, if it does wake any of them, go ahead and start shooting.
Yes. That
Yeah,
was
don't
my
wait for
plan.
our signal. Just start.
As soon as I see anything move in there, boom.
Yeah.
I actually have rounds, which some
How
of
many you got?
Does-
Do you need any bullets?
I will always use bullets.
How many have you got, and how many do you need?
I may have 21.
She doesn't need bullets right now.
You can spell me the bullets. You can give me a couple later. But
She can see well enough in there that she would be able to see us for who we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's also potential for stray bullets, but in theory, yeah, she would be able to see you if she shot you. Yeah.
That's the wrong order.
Yeah, before getting shot is what we're looking for, please.
yeah.
Things happen. Yes. To answer your question in all seriousness, yes, you would be able to see, if nothing else, your two friends are taller than these creatures.
Yeah.
So you would be able to discern it from shape and the fact that they're not wearing masks.
Yep. Yeah, don't go in with masks, guys.
And don't hunker down.
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, don't go in
Yeah, Mr. Moon
crouched
is
with a
rather
mask
tall.
over your head.
Yeah, Mr. Moon is tall, and I think Raymer was fairly tall as well. Was wiry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Raymer's tallish and wiry. I mean,
Yeah.
compared
So-
to me, tall, but
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
not compared to fish.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with scaly skin, I expect the way that the light reflects off of it is kind of prismatic.
He's just is he a Twilight vampire now? He's just sparkling all the time.
Disco ball.
Yeah. Yes, you
Disco
are able
Rhymer.
to Disco Rhymer. Yeah, you would be able to discern them from a group.
All right, well, then let's go back around to the door and see if I could potentially open it quietly. I'm going to look around for some rocks that have a wedge shape to them, so
You find-
that
yeah.
so that if it becomes a thing, we can shut the door behind us and slam the rocks underneath it to try and keep it from sliding open, and
There's
still be able.
Yeah, there's a couple of bricks. Some of them seem a little brittle, but you could probably find like a couple of 2 or 3 wedges that
Okay.
would hold for a bit at least. But it's a metal door, so that works against you. Like if it would
Mhm.
have been a wooden door, it would have been an issue. But since it's metal,
Right.
and metal against brick is not too. But yeah, you find a couple of bricks, and if nothing else, it won't hold forever, but it'll hold for a bit.
Okay. It just needs to hold long enough for us to kill them.
Okay.
Right. So the 2 of you walk down towards the door then.
Yep.
Right. So we have Swan laying outside on her stomach, ready to shoot. We have Rhymer and Mr. Moon standing at the door, ready to open it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna end the session there because it's getting late.
Love the tension.
Honestly, when it comes to combat, if we did start combat right now, it'd probably be another hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's gonna take a while.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
So we're going to end the session there, which means that we get to roll the death number.
Hey! Somebody
is
else
our
Wait,
got
we
a
session.
already rolled the death number.
It's every
That was
session,
the last
baby.
session.
Why don't Knight? Why don't you go ahead and kill off some of our
What?
hard
You
members?
don't want Drut to do it again?
I like to spread out the guilt.
Yeah. I'm only guilty of 1 death.
3.
3. Alright. And that's 3 less people to feed.
Was one of those 3, Alana?
We don't know. We're not
Let
back
me
yet.
check. No.
No.
I keep
Yes.
telling you, he dies last.
Yes.
And not only because she's based on a love character.
Okay. That
Right.
was fun.
Uh,
Deranged, but fun.
The rest is
question.
how we do things around here.
Yeah. I had great fun. Great
Yeah,
RP for
yeah.
everyone, actually. Quick question. Would we like to do experience? Because this session we did it before the session. Would we like to do that next time as well, or would you like to do it after sessions?
I think it would be better after the session
Yeah.
because it's easier to remember what was done.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
agreed.
Should question 2 then? Should we do it off stream or on stream?
Off stream would be fine because
I have no problem with off stream.
Mm.
Off stream's good.
there's no
Yeah.
reason to bore everyone with our experiencing.
Yes,
it
quite.
felt a bit long, and that means it will be easier to
Yeah.
discuss. And everything in the game, by the way, if you want to upgrade a skill or buy a talent, costs 5 experience. But those
You
are
can
the 2
buy
things.
talents.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh, so I could at 5 XP I could buy an extra talent for Goose.
Yes.
I need to look up the rules, but I'm fairly certain it's 5 for everything. But you can only have like so many talents, I think. I don't think you can have many. And there's also there's also general talents. There are talents related to your profession, and there is talents related to that everyone can pick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With fun names such as Cowardly Rat and things like that.
How
Yes.
do attributes increase? Because my strength is appalling.
Yeah, they never do.
Bollocks.
Nice.
And I do remember session 0. We were told this.
I don't remember session 0. It was a long time ago, to be fair.
Yeah, no, the attributes stay the same.
Okay.
because they're not that. Otherwise, you would quickly have 5 in everything, and it would quickly become unbalanced. But you can increase your skills.
Okay.
I need to look up if you can increase skills you have 0 in. I believe so, but I need to check it up. You can
Yeah.
only buy skills that your class have. So, for example, you as a Sunstalker, you can't buy the Sikkim ability because that is
No, that's
specific
fine.
to Mutant the dog.
I can't help thinking that, healing might be something I need to pick up at some point.
I have healing.
Yeah, you do have a healer.
I also have
know.
a talent related to healing.
Yeah.
It's called Bone Saw. It makes me a better healer, okay?
Healing, butchery, it's easy.
Also, if you wanted to take healing, Drut, you'd need empathy.
I have empathy.
Do you?
I've got 4 empathy, mate.
Really?
Yes. She's packing 4 empathy because her main
Wow,
thing is
it comes-
persuasion and mind control of other people.
Right.
It's getting them to do things that are really dangerous so she doesn't have to. Such as them kicking the door in and going in hand to hand with the monsters while she stands outside and snipes.
To be fair,
And you thinking it's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
it is
Yeah, I
a
know.
really good idea.
You've even convinced your players out of character.
I know, it's great. But no, persuasion is her thing.
Yeah, but you didn't have to persuade us.
I know. No, overall, that's why she's got high empathy. Also, it ties in with the spore sacs that she's got, which does give her the mind control.
Right, and all of you can also
right.
add 1 point of rot.
Oh, wacko.
Oh, great. Because
That's
we
fun.
stayed a night out here.
Yep.
Well, okay, running it.
How do we
Nothing-
get rid of rot again?
You get rid of rot basically by spending time in a rot-free area and eating clean water, if I remember correctly.
Basically, time back at the yard.
Yeah, you get rid of one rot point every day,
Oh, okay.
automatically.
So getting not Raymer, getting Gemmel to lick your arm or something.
Yeah. There is, however, a chance that your rot points can stay if they also have a chance of becoming permanent.
Oh, good.
Um,
Well, there's something to look forward
but
to.
that's something we roll for when you try to get rid of them.
Ah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many XPs did we come out with at the start of the session, you
It
guys?
was 3.
It was 3.
I think we each ended up with 3 based on different
Yeah.
things.
That's what I
Yeah.
was just thinking.
So yeah, do we
think-
want to?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up, but I think you ended up with 4. We could just watch the VOD later
Yeah,
and find
check
out
the
how many
VOD back.
experiences
I don't-
you've got.
Yeah,
I very much,
I noted how many I
gonzoed.
got, which was 3. You might have got an extra one.
Yeah, I think you got an extra one because you went out because of.
Oh,
your
I did the zone
goal.
stalky thing. Yes. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Swan didn't
Yeah,
get an
that's
extra. So Swan and Raymer should have the same amount, and Mr. Moon should have 1 extra
Yeah, that was it.
because of the goal.
Oh, so I should have 4.
Yes.
Yes. You should have 4 and we should have 3.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
figures.
Right.
Sweet.
So that was cool.
Well, thanks everyone for watching.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for.
So
If you also clean
Hanging
yourself
out.
off in water, you get rid of half of your rot points.
yeah, that's
Um,
nice.
So that's a very good thing, but it costs a lot of water. Clean water, that's.
Yeah. So
Yes, thank you everyone
cool. So
for joining.
next week is Swords of Slaughterdeep with Fishy running AD&D 2nd edition. And I'm sure it will all go absolutely fine and we have an interrogation to do. As Fish has just linked to, we've got a Discord if you're not already on it. Feel free to come join us.
Indeed.
It's the Hobby Gamers International Community Discord, where you can find everything from conversations on various different computer games, role-playing games, tabletop games, on and off stream games, help with tech, and frankly, waffle on almost anything else. So,
Sometimes movie nights, sometimes book
Yeah.
club.
yeah, it is a little family. Also, Slay Industries across the Discord on Wednesday, if all goes well. Fishy is running the quick play for the new 2nd edition. So, if you want to get involved. I think he had a seat left, but otherwise you are welcome to listen in and see how the new game of Sleigh runs. So, otherwise it's our normal streams this week. So tomorrow I am on a new Monstrous Monday, so I'm playing Man of Medan on Jotta Cup. Tuesday and Thursday night is drumming from 5:30.
That's right. Ostensibly 5:30, although given all
5,
things
yeah.
around COVID, I've been starting earlier at 5.
Yeah,
Because I haven't got to commute home from work.
that's the point. Yes.
So, although the schedule is starting at 5:30, because I never know quite when things are set to go, I normally do start at 5.
Okay. And then Thursday, I'm carrying on with Gabriel Knight, The Beast Within, which may well be the last session. So, that's what we've got lined up for the coming week. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Felix, for doing a sterling job of cat wrangling.
We did go off the rails a bit.
There were some rails there. We obviously are
I don't
railophobic.
know. I just severely enjoyed watching Felix fall apart.
I like to imagine myself not as cat wrangling, more putting down the rail wherever your train happens to go, and
Oh my
successively steering
God.
it in the right direction again.
He's
Back on the
Gromit.
rail.
He's
I
Gromit
am.
in the one with the penguin.
Yeah, pretty
We're
nice.
laying the rail in front of the toy train as he goes. Yes,
Yeah.
excellent.
And then hopefully steering it back onto the direction it's actually going.
Yes. Okay.
Meanwhile,
Wallace
we're
over
all
there.
over the mountains, and eventually we'll get to the city where it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Okay. So,
Figure it out.
thank you again, and we shall bid you a good night. The wrong trousers. Thank you, Chrono. I just completely glitched out on which one it was. I appreciate that. So, thank
Good night,
you,
everyone.
and good
Good night.
night.
Good night, everyone.